And I am back here on the channel, and today I am not coming to you as General Zod, but I will be returning as the most earth-breaking, ground-shaking, but never media show money taking, the man, the myth, the legend, the most electrifying YouTuber in YouTube entertainment today, Lee Cole IV. And why am I doing this? It is because today is a special day. Today is Father's Day, and I have assembled a panel of guests here to help celebrate this momentous occasion. And hopefully we'll have some more people join in the panel when they can. But this is in honor of all of the fathers out there, all of the people, the unsung heroes who have a role in raising kids. You know, we've been focusing a lot on female representation and all that jazz, but today I want to focus on male representation and our roles as fathers, and you know, the good, the bad, and the ugly that goes along with that. But you know, it takes two people. So let me go down the line here, and let's start with Exaggeration Nation. Welcome to the channel, brother.
Oh, well, thank you very much. I hope everybody's doing okay tonight. I am on location from the nation's toilet bowl, Washington D.C., and spending the next 12 days here doing some stuff for work and everything. But it's a good day. I hope everybody's doing all right.
All right. And next on the line, I can't see the YouTube channel because I'm tweeting stuff out, but I'm just going to go with what I see here. Stevie J, go ahead.
Yeah, g'day guys. Stevie J Reviews. Just doing movie reviews, trailer reactions, and talking all things movies. So, yeah, thanks for having me on. Father's Day, good day. And, yeah, happy to talk about pumping up dads.
All right. Awesome. And with us, the awesome and soon-to-be YouTube sensation, Stig, go ahead.
Yeah, I don't know about YouTube sensation, but my channel does have content now. 50 seconds combined, I think, of video content. So it's a start. Other than that, I'm just a fellow up here in Norway with sleep issues. So I talk to Americans on YouTube quite a lot. Sometimes I make sense, sometimes not.
Awesome. You know, I don't know how many people are going to join this. I don't know how many viewers we're going to have. And quite honestly, I didn't do this for that today. I wanted to do this because it's been really important to me since having my daughter to sort of honor the dads out there. And I saw a bunch of beautiful videos. Did you guys all catch that Merry Mayhem?
Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah. You know, it was awesome.
I was asleep, so I don't know.
I haven't been able to be on there. I've been on a plane half the day and getting into my hotel. I've got to get onto it. I talked to her a little bit because she told me she wanted to use some of my stuff for it, but so I told her that'd be cool, but I haven't been able to check it out quite yet.
Oh, it's a great video. Everyone who is hopping in or who will hop in, make sure that you go check out Merry Mayhem, not just for that video, but also her other great content that she has. But she's really awesome in the community and does a lot. And when I saw that, that was very touching stuff. And it's good to see ladies that appreciate the fathers too, as well. You know what I mean? So yeah, I wanted to kind of get into a couple of different things. And as everyone on this panel knows, we've been waging a daily, or what seems like a daily war against SJW nonsense. And part of that has been putting down males and the male, role model lead that we all have. And I want to get your ideas here on the panel as to, just how you feel about it, and how it seems like when Mother's Day pops around, you see those K's commercials, right? K Jewelers, and, go show her how much you love her, things like that. You see stuff at Walmart, everyone and their mother has some kind of promotion. But here we are on Father's Day, and I got to say, I'm not really feeling the love here, guys.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird. So let me start with exaggeration. How do you feel about this trend? And, what are your thoughts about this new condition we have, this new mindset of putting dads on the back burner, making us ride the back of the bus, so to speak?
Well, dads, there are numerous studies, psychological studies, criminology studies that show a direct correlation with dads being involved in families and things going wrong in families. Dads that stay absent, dads that walk out and everything. It's legitimately shown that things like that, inactive dads, deadbeat dads, whatever you want to call them, when they're not there, things are a lot more tumultuous or whatever in the household. And the thing is that dads are dads are needed. Dads are needed. There's a kid needs to be raised by both parents. To get the female view of what happens in life, you need the mom. But to get a masculine, strong kind of no nonsense view that really needs to exist, there needs to be a dad. And especially as the father of two little girls, I have daughters that are 9 and 5. And one thing I know about having little girls is that they're especially vulnerable growing up these days. And so my goal as a dad is to be the man that they compare all other men to. Is he, I don't want to put it off as I'm saying, I'm dating my dad or whatever, but I want to be on the back of her mind whenever my girls do get interested in a girl or in a guy. Will my dad approve? Does he have the qualities that my dad has shown? Does this guy treat me the same way that my dad treats my mom? I'm going to be the standard. I'm going to make sure I'm going to be the standard. And that's what a lot of dads need to be. A lot of dads need to be the standard for the way that their kids see the world. And that just doesn't happen. That just doesn't happen very much and enough. And especially now that men are being downplayed and everything along those lines, it's counterproductive to everything that I've seen. Everything that I've seen.
Very well put. There's always the focus on the mom, which is commendable. I mean, I was raised by a single mom. My dad was in and out occasionally, and we're good now, but he made a lot of mistakes. And my mom was there for me for those rough times, but I still pulled stuff from my dad, right or wrong. And I agree. The dad's role is very important and gets very downplayed. So I definitely like the angle that you're coming from. Stevie, what do you think, buddy?
Yeah, so I tend to agree with the exaggeration. I think in the media and in sitcoms and movies, you see a lot of almost all of the men or dads being downplayed and their roles. They're kind of made out to be the bumbling idiot sort of thing that doesn't know what's going on and opinion doesn't really matter, that sort of thing. But being a dad of 3 boys, I think I see it every day. It's super important to have both parents around, because there's certain things that I just can't give them, that I'm not as good at, and there's definitely things that that I can give them and need to give them that that my wife can't. So, like, for example, my kids are all into sports, so I do all of that with them, and my wife's not that interested in that. And it's teaching them how to defend themselves and things like that. Um, but also, when you look at dads not being there, and like exaggeration said, there's a lot of studies into it. But the other factor with dads not being there is that often, well, I think it's around 90% ish, the courts rule in favor of the mum. So dads, even though they may want to be more involved, even maybe want full custody of their kids, when there's divorces and breakups, they don't get that opportunity to have that time with their kids. So it's a real societal thing where mums are always favoured. And don't get me wrong, like, mums are just as important. I think it's got to be a balance, but you can't just keep saying that dads are not important, and they really do get downplayed and made out to be those sort of bumbling idiots in sitcoms and movies these days. So I think it's a real shame, because it really should just be about the balance, and giving them both perspectives all the way through as much as possible.
Very, very true. And of course, we have DP in here, and DP. I've been dropping mad links, so sorry I didn't get to it right away. It's I wanted to have all the fathers on here, and we were talking about the roles that dads play and the importance and how they're being downplayed. And what are your feelings on this?
Well, let me just go ahead and say happy Father's Day to all you fathers. We get to see your kids and don't get to see your kids, man. Because I know from experience, it's getting the feels are real,
Yeah.
you know. And the downplayment of these fathers and commercials and crap, man. Like, I watched a commercial with my mom's yesterday when I went and had dinner with her. Dude, it was a joint pain medicine fucking commercial, right? And the guy was played off as a bumbling fool playing golf. All right. And he's like, not even halfway through one hole, he flings his golf club into the water, looks back at his partners and says, "I'm out of clubs." It's kind of funny, but it's still like, men are bumbling fools.
Yep.
Like, when does this happen? What, since when? How do houses get built? It takes 15 guys to build, to do the trim work because they all die too quick because they're too stupid to know how to use a goddamn nail gun, a finish nailer. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point, man.
It's fucking retarded, man. They're downplaying the man. It's like, men raise their kids to be adults. They raise their kids to be warriors, to provide.
Well, it's like but that's, it goes back to there's a balance in life and nature between femininity and masculinity. I was blessed to have two. I was blessed to have two parents that stayed together my entire life. Always told me that they loved me. Always gave me hugs, showed me affection. I've been very, very lucky to have parents like that, and I've never taken it for granted. But I know, I know for sure that as I was growing up, there were certain things I learned from both of my parents. My mother taught me a lot more of a compassionate more of a compassionate view, you know, how to deal with people. But sometimes, you know, a dad comes in and he's just like, son, you're paying way too much mind to that. Just get past it, move on. This is that. And it seems kind of harsh at one point, but then especially as you grow up, it's like, huh, that is you know, sometimes it's right. You do kind of need that. You do kind of need that short mood, that asshole way to look at things sometimes. But at the same time, my dad taught me how to look at a woman correctly. You know, women respect masculinity more than they'll ever let on. But at the same time, I know that my mom or my dad treats my mom like a queen, and is always there to cook when he needs to, always there to do the work and everything like that, with the strict understanding of knowing that whenever it's time for him to want to go do something, play golf, go on a weekend trip with some of his boys or whatever, he goes.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing too, man.
How do you feel about the this balance that there seems to be these days with this narrow view that the media pushes about fathers being bumbling idiots and whatnot?
Don't the people who are bashing Father's Day and fathers in general, don't they have fathers themselves? I mean, would they say those things to their own dad face to face? I don't think they would. I think people need to in general take a little break and look at what they're actually saying to other people through media, I guess. But that's a different topic. Um, yeah, I guess you you simply need both parents, ideally. Two parents that are both prepared to be parents. Um, I'm a dad myself, and I've screwed up plenty. Believe me, I've not been the best of dads. It's all good now. But yeah, being a dad isn't easy, especially if you become a dad at a very young age. Um, I don't know. Am I making sense?
Of course you are, Mr. Sig, you do. And I wanted to touch on this myself. You know, how I feel about it was as I was going through and I got this idea for this impromptu Father's Day panel, which everyone who knows me, I'm so organized when I put these things together. Let me tell you, I need to take notes from Mary because she's got everything down to like a science. She always schedules things much better. But anyways, this really came about because I'm sitting there and my daughter, she knows one of my favorite movies is Jet Li's Fearless, and I already have a copy of it, but she went out with her own money. She had like $6. She goes out and brought me a copy of the movie, you know, and when I saw that and I went on my feed and was reading stuff and I'm looking at these articles, you know, they write these half-assed Father's Day articles like, you know, dads do so much in the beginning of Father's Day and blah, blah, blah. But, you know, I feel like it doesn't have the same praise that other holidays and other things get, you know. There's not that real shill-tastic tint on it, if you will. They're all like, where they're like, oh my God, you know, let's think of Mother's Day to be like, oh my God, Mother's Day, make sure you rush out right now, go celebrate moms. With Father's Day, it's more like, oh yeah, Father's Day is coming up, you know, make sure you go see your dad, drop him a line, show him some love, you know, that kind of vibe to it. And I'm like, you know, it's that double standard we're all used to seeing. And it's like, why? You know, there are good dads out there, you know, and I'm not saying we're all perfect, but there are dads. I have friends who sit there and work 2 or 3 jobs to provide for their kids. I work 2 jobs. One, I work just because it helps with movie reviews, but the other one is the one that puts food on the table, if you will. And, you know, it's like, hey, you know, this play to make the male role model, the male father figure, look like crap is really insulting. And I mean, this doesn't just hit the hetero white male section too. I mean, what about people who have 2 dads? What about the gay community? You know, that are 2 dads who adopt kids, but they get shafted too. They don't count. You know, if we're being, if they claim diversity as they like to do, what about those parents that are there? You
You
know,
know, the old saying kind of applies here that you don't become bigger by making others feel smaller. You know,
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
100%.
and that's exactly the tactic that's being used here, though. If there is a tactic, you know, praise both the moms and the dads. You know, there are plenty good ones of both out there.
And see, that's what
Yeah.
drives me nuts sometimes too. Is a lot of these people that are always trying to bash, bash the other side or whatever. It shows how shallow they really are, not because of the tactics they're using, but they don't have any substance to go on. I always try to go into things with an open mind. If what you were saying is correct, I will listen and I will take it into consideration and maybe even apply it to my own life. But you've got to show me why it is true. But what's happening is that they're spending so much time arguing against the other side that they don't give any substance to their side. So I'm like, okay, so you're saying the reason I need to believe you is because the other side sucks. That's so third grade. If you want me to believe you, stop attacking people and speak to me and tell me why I need to believe you, why I need to follow you and everything. And that's not what's happening.
Yeah, there was an interesting piece of legislation put forward here where they wanted to change Father's Day to be called Special Persons Day, but leave Mother's Day as it normally is Mother's Day. And the reason behind it, or the premise for the legislation, was that there's so many dads that leave the home that they should change it to Special Persons Day so people don't feel left out. So
Man,
basically, just slapping men in the face and saying, "You guys suck because you always leave
man,
families." So
that's
we're not going to
that.
call it Father's Day anymore.
That's bull. I call bull crap on that, man.
Yeah, that's horseshit.
You know,
Yeah,
because we only get one day. We get okay. Oh, we get a birthday as well.
And especially if you're a white dad, especially if you're a white dad and a Christian dad and a straight dad and everything like that, you're like 5 times screwed or whatever. We just
you're
got
way down.
we just got done or we're finishing up Pride Month. I'm like, you need a special month to have Pride. There's all types of different months and everything like that. I'm like, I'm proud of you. I mean, all of these groups that have their own months and their own days. I'm like, I'm proud of you every day of the week. Stop trying to relegate yourself to one thing. But at the same time, recognize everybody else that needs their own month, their own week, their own days or whatever. Stop being such a douche.
Exactly. Amen, dude. Amen, Prime.
Remember back in the day where the things that got praised were your actions and not what you were born as.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Whether it's fathers, mothers, single fathers, single moms, that is such a true statement because and it's not just the Father's Day; it's everything. People. It's the culture of everyone needs to get a trophy. I think Geek said this to me, right? The syndrome of everyone gets a trophy, a participation trophy, right? But no one's really earned it. And what is wrong with earning your title?
Yeah, I was born colorblind, or semi-colorblind. Where is my celebration month?
Yeah. Right. I can't see all the spectrum of the rainbow physically. Where's my trophy? Where's my month?
Yeah.
Yeah. Where's the
I mean,
handicapped people's month? You know, is
but
there
I
a
mean,
month?
at the freaking time though, like even I watched I don't know if everybody's seen that interview with Morgan Freeman when he was talking about Black History Month and everything.
Yeah,
I
he
was going
doesn't
to
have
say
a
that.
month.
Yeah.
I'll be
Yeah,
right back.
he's like, you're going to try to relegate my race, my identity to 1 month, like because Black history is American history. Some of it
Yeah.
really, really sucked, but some of it was amazing. You know, I mean, you don't. I don't want to relegate, Pride Month for gay people and stuff. As much as a lot of them can get really politically correct and stuff. I have some absolutely wonderful gay friends that are closer than some of my own family are. And I don't want them to just be proud during the month of June. I want them to be proud every month of the year. Don't just pick out a point in time. It relegates people and they don't need relegation. But I mean that's true with dads, that's true with moms or whatever. Let your dad know that he's awesome every day of the week and stuff, but don't give me shit just because I want a date where I feel special. Because Lord knows that everybody's trying to make me feel not special for being a dad, for being white, for being straight, for being Christian, for being everything else that I am.
You are a horrible person for that. You know that, right?
I know. I'm going straight to hell is what I'm doing.
That was a really good interview with Morgan Freeman, because he turned around to the other guy as well and said, "Well, if you're Jewish, are you? So do you want a Jewish month as well?" Like, it doesn't make any sense. The other thing as well, though, it's pretty, talking about statistics and everything. There's some pretty scary statistics about men that don't get talked about, like the male suicide rate being way, way higher than for women as well. College graduation rates, and not to mention workplace deaths. Obviously, military service is way higher. So there's all of these other things that are huge risks for men that just never get talked about anymore.
Yeah.
And
There's a lot of them.
quick, wanted to introduce Chris Knight to the panel from Reviews 3000. Welcome, Chris.
Welcome to me. Yes.
Woo!
How's everyone doing?
What's going on, Chris?
Not too much. That video you did, by the way, Jesse, that was great.
Thank you very, very much, man. That was
Who shot that?
I have a friend of mine actually that he works as a waiter at Olive Garden, but he is an amazing musician who's also wanted to get into videography, and he's taken some time and spent a lot of time researching, studying, investing and stuff. And he's got his own little side gig. He's even got like a commercial drones license, so he can videotape stuff whenever he wants. I mean, he's done it, but he knows my dad as well. So he was like, so I came to him, I think maybe March or April, because I heard that song on my YouTube pop up one time. And I knew that as soon as I heard that song, it was like January. I was like, I need to do that for my dad and I need to find a way. So I called him up. He was like, yep, let's do it.
Really quick, before we continue, I would like to do a shout out to the chat. We have Moira in here. Hey, Mega Jetty 1. And I wanted to acknowledge a question here because it's a very good one. It says, here's a potential idea for a father/son story. An African-American man adopts a Caucasian boy. The boy adopts his attitude or his dad's attitude and doesn't behave like most Caucasians. What do you think about that?
Well, that depends.
I'd watch it.
Yeah, but the question here is that's predisposing everybody to acting a certain way, no matter what color your skin is. I mean that's kind of how I look at that. I mean, I have met plenty of people who were not African American who acted like it, who acted like the stereotype, I should say. And I have met plenty of African Americans who didn't act like the stereotype. So the question is what exactly are we suggesting the Caucasian boy is acting like? I don't know. I mean, I don't think that there's a certain way that people act just because of their skin color. I think again that that everybody's unique in their own way, and they grow up around different circumstances, and those circumstances make them into who they are and how they act. So I don't think that's predisposed to a color of skin. That's how I think.
Yeah, it's the nature versus, not nature versus, heredity versus environment type thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, are you going to act a certain way because of the way you were born, or are you going to act a certain way because of the environment you grew up in? I know plenty of white people that have acted black, plenty of black people that have acted white, plenty of Hispanic or Asian people that have white or, you know, what we call white accents or whatever. And I mean, everything. You know, I've got a really good friend who was from South Korea, but was adopted as an infant. So he looks fully Korean and talks fully American. I mean, it doesn't matter.
No.
But see, isn't that what we're talking about, gentlemen? This is what we're talking about. It is the influence, and I think Mega J brings up a great point here. It's the influence of the parents, right? It's the way that they're being, like you guys said, the environment, but also how you're being raised, the different cultural things that are being passed on. Who said that these cultural things are necessarily shackled by ethnicity, right? Isn't that the fight? Isn't that the battle in general?
Well, I think like, I don't watch it, but you know, there's this show Blackish, which I think, if I remember right, the mother was raised as a rich kid and raised like that, went to school as a doctor, all this stuff. So she doesn't act what the stereotypical black way of acting is. So therefore they call it Blackish, because her kids kind of act what they say blacks act like. So it is kind of like that. And it isn't always that. I mean, a lot of people don't realize that, you know, even parents who try their hardest sometimes lose their children to the influence of the environment. And so sometimes, you know, children make their own choices in many ways. So children decide sometimes, I don't like what my parents are going to, what they're saying or what they're trying to instill in me. So I'm going to go find what I want to be like. And that's how we lose a lot of children. I have a guy that I used to run his hardware store for him, and they had adopted a child. The child, his mother was a drug addict, and they adopted him, I think, pretty much almost from birth. And throughout the whole time, they were in they were in a good school district. They were in a real nice housing division. They gave, I mean, I guess they sent him to, basically, he had everything he ever wanted. And he still ended up, he's in jail right now. He's in prison, if I remember right. He was given, he was nurtured, he had great grandparents, everything. And so I think parents can only do so much. Children are people, and they have their own way. Our job as parents is to do everything you can to make sure your kids grow up and become decent human beings. You can't tell your kids what to do with their life forever. So I think the most important thing is to sit there and instill in them when you say to not do something or to do something, why you're telling them that. I tell my kids all the time, you know, you don't have to like what I tell you to do, but this is why I'm telling you, because at some point in your life, you're going to have to do this on your own anyways. And if you don't, you're going to end up being in a compromised position because you can't do something on your own. I've taught my kids how to change tires, how to change oil, how to change belts on cars. Why? Because I don't want my kid to be stranded on the side of the road with a flat tire trying to figure out what the heck to do. Now, my kids weren't totally invested in it. They didn't like sitting there with me on a hot day learning how to do it. But I looked at them and I said, this is why I'm telling you this. That's what I try to do as a father. I have 2 kids full time. Unfortunately, their mom is not much. She's not around very often. She has 5 kids, five kids altogether. All of them at one time or another have been raised by other people. My 2 boys, their older siblings have them over all the time. They treat them, they're all great with each other. Right now, my youngest is with his brother, but you take what you can and you try to explain it. You use examples around you, even if that's you. For instance, I've not made the best choices in my life. So sometimes I will tell my kids straight up, this is what got me in a position I didn't like to be in. And I've been completely honest about my life with my kids because I want them to understand why I'm saying things a certain way. I want them to understand that when I tell them to go in the military and stay in for 20 years, I'm like, because you will be set for life. If you get in there and you do what you're supposed to do, you will have a much better life after the fact than I did. So I always think that the nurture, the environment, all of that is important, but kids will always make their own decisions. And I think all of us remember being teenagers and stuff. We probably look back and go like, yeah, my dad or my mom told me not to do that, and I did it anyways. And damn if they weren't right.
Yeah.
My dad died almost 2 years ago. And still to this day, sometimes I hear myself saying things that he said, and I wish now I could go back and tell him, you were absolutely right. And, I know my dad died knowing that I was in a good place and that I was doing the things he wanted me to do and stuff. But there was a long time there that he would have thought that I was going to hell and that I was a lost cause. And, I pulled out. I did the right things. I did what I was supposed to do. And I got to a place that I know that he was happy with what I did with my life. But I think all kids eventually go through a phase of bucking the nurturing, bucking the trend, but bucking the society they've grown up in, whatever that is, or falling victim to it, one of the two. And the key to everybody that survives those trials and tribulations is that they eventually find themselves and build who they are. And I think ultimately that's what our job is as parents, is to let your children know, I know what you're saying. I know what you're telling me. My 17-year-old told me when he was like 9, he said, Dad, I would never tell you I hate you. And I said, just wait. You're going to one of these days. But I think children inherently are going to get to that point where they hate their parents, no matter what we try to do. And it's not a hate. It's that moment when all teenagers just get to a point of thinking, I can do this on my own. And sometimes our jobs as parents is to let them fall and show them that there you go. This is where you got. And, it's hard. It's hard for anybody who's a parent, anybody who's a father. It's really difficult to watch your child fail or to.
It's more difficult for the mothers, dude.
Well, I'm not sure about that. I mean, maybe in my situation it's different because since my kids were, oh God, now how long has it been? Let's see here, 7 and 9. I don't know. Most of their lives, I've not been the mother, but I have been the parent, the only parent there.
Okay. Well, let me throw this at you. Okay.
Yeah. Hold on, really quick. Stevie is going to be leaving us, so thank you, Stevie, for coming on.
Oh,
yeah, no
Stevie.
worries, guys. I'll be back if I can. I'll
Sorry.
just go do some work.
And I actually, believe it or not, I actually do have to leave because I've got to get up pretty early tomorrow and also have to call my wife, who's still back down in Florida, and talk to her for just a little bit, man.
Where are you at?
I'm up in Washington, D.C. right now, doing some training for a job. So, yeah, awesome. I had to do a very hard Father's Day today, and hug both of my girls goodbye for 12 days, and that was a tearjerker because they were both crying. But
hey, exaggeration, man, is a pleasure actually speaking with you and meeting you for the first time, man.
Absolutely,
I mean, your boss is your boss, dude.
Man, I appreciate you guys, man, and I thank you guys for your support. And I'm telling you what, dads, I'm not trying to push my latest video or anything like that, but I really did make my last video that song for not only my dad, but for all the dads out there that are worth a shit, man. So you guys take a minute or two go on there and look at it after the stream, and just know that I got the song for you guys, right?
I appreciate it.
I'm trying to contain these feels as it is, man. I'm not going to watch that tonight.
I hear you, man. But man, I appreciate you guys having me on. Give me a holler anytime you can, because I've got a hotel room all to myself for 12 days, so I'm looking to shout at whoever I can sometimes, man.
I do late night streams, so I'll have you on if you're up around my time. So
Around 3 a.m. in the morning, all the time.
Well, man, boys and girls, y'all stay cool. Thanks a lot, and we'll catch you on the flip it.
Just take it easy.
Later, Jesse.
Later,
Take
dudes.
care and be well.
Be well, brother.
Okay.
Be well.
So continue with your thought.
One more thing I wanted to do. I wanted to give a shout out in the chat to my honorary mod. I have given wrenches to my trusted folks, but my two main mods are Mad Squirrel and Bitchy Unicorn. Bitchy actually took my shift tonight, so I didn't have to work for Father's Day. So
Wow.
I owe her a hug and a kiss. Yeah, I'm not too proud to say that on air. She's going to kill me later because she's going to be like, you said that over there? I'm going to be like, yeah, I did. And
We know why you really made her a mod. First she'd kick your ass, and then your mom would.
Yep.
yes, so true.
His mom is no joke.
The second half of that is Mad Squirrel, and she does an awesome job. And she, I don't even have to tell Mad Squirrel. She just drops links like horns. So I appreciate that they were like kind of the first mods that I had, because Mary was like, you need to have mods on your channel. I'm like, oh, that should happen. So thank you. And let's get back to it. I wanted to do some lighthearted stuff here as well as just.
I wanted to hear the rest of what you had to say, though.
Yeah.
He's talking. Okay.
Yeah.
So when a mother sees their kid hit the ground, all right, when they're riding a bike, you know what I mean? First instinct, Bactine, rubbing alcohol, disinfectant, bandage, maybe even go to the hospital. Overreaction. Boys, men that grew up being boys like that, rub some dirt in it. That's my philosophy. Rub some dirt in it, you'll be all right. It's just a little skinned knee, you'll be all right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I understand.
That's the difference.
And I agree with I do agree with that side of things. I think maybe this is more what I would say is that dads, when they see their children fail, maybe more inner about it, maybe keep it right here. But I personally know that inside my heart breaks when I see my children fail.
Absolutely.
I have taught them, set your goals, work for your goals, but you know what? I know that doesn't always come out the way you want it to. And you know what? I don't believe in participation trophies either. I don't want my kid to think that there isn't a loser. There's a loser in a lot of things, and you need to learn that in life. And unfortunately, Lee and I have talked about it a million times about the world today taking away from the lessons in life that sometimes you fail, and there's no good side to that. And I think that
no, there's a takeaway.
Oh yeah, there is.
Lose with dignity.
Yes, and
learn how to lose with dignity.
Yes, but I mean, in the sense of when
learn the lesson.
Fail, it is a definite. It's not like a reset button on the video game. You can't just reset it and I can start again and try this again. You can try things again sometimes, and next time you go, depending on what it is, you might get it. But that's how you learn. That's how when you don't get a job, you go in, you do the best you can for your interview, and then you don't get it, and you're like, well, why didn't I get it? I did everything I should. You learn from those things, and the learning is the takeaway, and this is the good side of it. But you know, sometimes it stings really hard, and it's really hard to tell your kids that. Well, not hard to tell your kids. It is hard for children to understand, even when it's from somebody like us, because, for instance, your kids just don't want to hear it from you because they don't think necessarily that you know what it's like to be in that situation. I remember saying it to my dad all the time. You don't know what I'm thinking. You don't know what it feels like. And I guess that's the thing, is that you want to tell your kids, hey, it's going to be better. But, you know, I know there's situations in my life that didn't get better necessarily from failure.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. You got to take the situations as they come along. I just think the thing is you got to let your kids know that it's not the end of the world. Nothing's the end of the world. That like you said, definitely from a father, get up, walk it off, and keep going. My dad died, like I said, about 2 years ago. And the next day I was supposed to be at work. He died about 7 or 8 at night. And then I had to be at work at 1 a.m. I got the phone call from my son, and I won't even go through that because it was one of the worst things I've ever heard my son say to me about that. But I showed up at work the next morning, and all the people I worked with were like, why'd you come to work? And I said, because I couldn't get my dad out of my head telling me, what are you not going to go to work for? What is there to stay home for? I'm dead.
Get your mind off of it.
And that's what I did. And that's when I started really, it wasn't just that, but that really was when things kicked in my head, the things my dad said to me. And I had that flashback at a lot of things my dad said to me. And I realized a lot of the things, and I finally saw that he knew what he was talking about. And I think that's the difficult thing for parents is that we say these things. We know what we're talking about. We're not perfect. We don't know all the answers, but we know how to get past things and get moving and continue forward. And kids make it difficult on us because they don't want to listen. You know,
they already know it all.
Yeah, I tell my kids all the time, clean your room. I'm still waiting. It's been 3 or 4 months. The rooms haven't been clean. They get better here and there, but you know, it's But
and you know, I kind of want to play off that point is that you know, especially as single parents, it's tough having to do essentially both roles. And I remember, I actually have a funny story. I remember I went into Target or something when Sierra was a young child. And I'm sitting there, and there were only 2 bathrooms. There was the male and the female bathroom, and they didn't have that little like family room. So I'm sitting there like lost, like, do I go in the male bathroom? No, there's a bunch of males in there. That'll be creepy. I'm like, but if I go in the female's bathroom, are they gonna be like, what is this dude doing in here? Because I had to change.
You will be a sexual predator for many years after.
So, and I mean, there's no guide. People, you know, people can get down on themselves, and we can all get down on ourselves at certain things that we've done. But really, whether you're male, female, mom, dad, whether you have both parents, what our parents never told us and what most parents will tell you is there is no guide to say these are the right choices, these are the right moves. Because Chris, it's like you said, there is no right or wrong answer because they're their own person. Eventually, they will grow up to be their own person. We can only instill our knowledge and our fuck ups and the things that we went through and say, hey, we did this, this, and this. But at the end of the day, they're little people. You know, they're going to get to a point where they make their own decisions, they make their own choices, and you know, we can only have a sort of guiding hand. And I tell my daughter this all the time. Some people look at me like when I'm talking to her out in public, they're like, you're so frank with your daughter, because I'll just tell her how things are.
Yeah.
And like, I'd rather she knows that she has a dad who, if she asks a question, I will give her the straight, no bullshit, this is how it is, no matter what she asks me. And she can ask me those things. So when she has that tough question, she won't be scared to come to me. She won't go on the internet to look it up. She'll come to me and she'll ask me, Dad, you've always been honest with me. I need to know this now. And I'd rather have that we have that, And parents will look at you like you have a third head and be like, oh, well.
Yeah. I tell my kids all the time, like, your kids tell you to drink or whatnot. Don't go. And I tell my kids all the time, I'm like, if you're going to do something, tell me about it. I'll tell you why not to do it. But if you come to me and tell me about it, and then 3 hours later I get a call from the cops, I'll come and get you. I'm going to tell you were stupid. I'm going to tell you did the wrong thing, but I'll come and get you. I've told my kids, though, I said, you don't tell me what's going on. When I get a call from the cops, be sure that you might be staying overnight. Unless they come down. I said, I don't know. It's just that thing of be honest with me, be straightforward. I will tell you.
Hey, yeah. That's how my dad did it, dude. I got in trouble and I had to get shipped out of town. I had to get shipped back home. All right. So to stay out of trouble. He called his homie. His homie shipped me out of state. 8-hour drive. Got me back to my spot. Right? Boom. Done. So from there on, I told my kids, don't you ever lie to me.
Yeah.
Don't you ever lie to me. If you tell me the truth, I got your back 100%.
Exactly. And that's how you have to be.
But if you lie to me, I can't have your back. I need to know the truth.
Yeah.
I got your back 100%. You need to get shipped out, I'll ship you out. I'll make sure you're going to be safe. All right? As long as you're not doing too much stupid. Because I'm not raising my kids to be stupid and ignorant and freaking, a whole bunch of didn't do nothings and shit,
I know that. I understand that.
And so I faced down teachers, the district managers. I faced down freaking principals because I have my kids back because they're true to me. They're truthful to me.
And yeah, no, that's all you, as a parent, that's all I want. I will be there by my kid's side no matter what happens. I just want to know the truth. I want to hear it from them. I want them to tell me what's going on. I have the open conversation with my son who's 17. I've had it for several years. Whenever he goes out to prom or something like that, I'm like, you need a rubber?
Yep.
I'm open about it. Hey,
yep.
I don't care if you're getting any or not. Just tell me. If you are, you don't even have to tell me the details. Do you need a rubber? You tell me yes, you're gonna have one. Just put it on. That's all I ask. I told my kid, years, like, I don't know, 15. I told him, I said, I'm going to tell you, I think it was on a date, his first date that he had actually had, first high school date. And I looked at him and I said, I want to tell you this right now. I said, if I ever get a knock at the door and it's a dad with his daughter, and he says, you and me need to have a conversation, and it turns out you got some girl knocked up, I said, look up what a eunuch is.
Shotgun wedding.
I said, look up what a eunuch is. Because I said the two things that are going to happen is you're going to become a eunuch, and that you're going to work from that point on for the rest of your life, because I'm not taking care of that kid. You are.
And hey, I wanted to, Stig, you've been quite quiet there. Stig, what do you think?
What was the original question?
Who the fuck knows? we got on dad rants.
Yeah, the question was asked 30 minutes ago, I think. So sorry.
Sorry, Stig.
I was just listening.
That's my fault.
Oh, Stig, come on. I get off on these tangents. Let's phrase it like this. Have you found yourself imparting words of wisdom? Because you're quite a wise Kenobi. So, have you imparted words of wisdom from time to time?
I try to slip in there whenever I can, and be as supportive as I can. But Um, my kid is 22 now, so I'm trying to um, give as many fond memories, I guess, as I can when he's here for a visit. So mostly what we do is, well, I take him hiking with me, and we talk a lot about this and that, and then we watch 80s movies.
Awesome.
Yeah, last time we watched three Dirty Harry movies. He had never seen them before, and he
Ooh.
loved
Where's
Oh,
your
there
son
you
at?
go.
it.
Bring some culture.
My, my kid is in university further north. He's studying 3D animation, and
Oh,
he's
cool.
doing well.
Good.
Nice.
Awesome.
Yeah, he already has a better education than what I have. So I'm proud of the kid. He's a very good kid. Doesn't get into trouble at all.
So you don't have any father quotes that you can pop off with that you can pass down from generation to generation?
I think the best thing to say. Well, not the best, but well, it's something to say is that human beings are human beings. We make mistakes, uh, sometimes big mistakes. So when you're a parent, try and raise your kid in a way to be a human being that avoids most of the big mistakes.
Yeah, that's actually a good point. As parents, we all know, everyone on this panel knows that when it comes down to it, uh, our kids are going to make mistakes. As humans, we all make mistakes. So, I mean, it's going to happen. I think the role that we take as fathers is trying to avert them from making the really big mistakes, the really bad, the really bad ones. It's almost like weighing, I wake up every day and I'm like, okay, well, I know my kid is going to fuck up once in a while. I go, what's the least, the least amount of messing up that I would like them to do, trying to steer them away from the really bad choices, I think is our goals, and it's a hit or miss because, like we've been saying, they're individuals. Eventually, they're little people.
Yeah, you're raising a person, really, person
Scary.
and person, a human being, and a citizen. So it's yeah, I, everyone will screw up and do bad things and make mistakes. I think parents can help the kids avoid the big mistakes, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, everyone on the panel here, wouldn't you agree? One of the big roles is making sure that, at the very least, we try our hardest to steer the kids away from the big mistakes, the doozies, if you will.
No, absolutely. I've taught my the two big quotes I can take away, and know that my kids will take and know is fucking the one my dad taught me, and another one that I learned from life. The first one is the one I learned from life is if it's not yours, you don't touch it. Don't be a thief. Keep your hands off it. If it's not yours, don't touch it unless you're going to buy it. That's it. Flat out. And the second one is if you're going to have sex without a condom, always take a piss immediately afterwards. That's my dad's quote.
Yeah.
Hey, tell the truth for so far.
Yeah. My my father was carpenter, not a mechanic on cars. My dad couldn't fix a car to save his life. I don't know how, but my dad was a chef. Dad had a hotel restaurant management degree, a criminology degree. He was a cop. I don't know. My dad didn't always say a lot. but he did teach me a lot. And it was always, I guess, then the one quote I'd say he would say is, your actions speak louder than your words. You know, when his dad died, my uncle, surprisingly enough, had my grandfather living behind his house in an apartment that he had built for him for a year. Like, he'd lived there for 7-8 years, and then my grandfather died, and we went to his funeral, and my uncle was just losing it left and right. And I asked my dad on the way home, I said, was he closer to your dad than you were? And he said, no. He said, he pulled me aside, and he says, I feel horrible because all these people showed up to my dad, and I thought my dad was an asshole. I thought my dad was a drunk. And then all these people showed up and told me about he built this house, or he did this for him, or he gave him money when they needed it, and he helped them out. And I never knew that about my dad. And I had my dad living behind my house for 8 years. And then, I didn't even know the guy. And so it was always that thing of, it's really important that, you learn who your parents are, because even if you don't like them for a moment or whatever, they're important people. I tell my kids all the time, no matter what you think of your mom, because she's not around, because she hasn't done this, she hasn't done that, she's still your mom. It's important that you know her and that you care about her. You really, because that's the big thing. Always love your parents. I mean, it's hard sometimes. I've met parents that were real pieces of work, but I still think it's important that you understand that they're there for you. I mean, even the worst ones, I think, are there for you in the long run, somehow, some way. My ex-wife, when we were getting ready to get married, she was sending out invitations, and I said, are you going to send one to your dad? And she says, no, I'm not going to. He's not going to come. And I said, why don't you send one just in case and see what happens? She sent it, and they ended up reconnecting at our wedding because he came, and it threw her for a complete loop. That's always been my belief. Believe in your parents, because that's what my parents taught me. My parents were always there for me, even if, like I said, my dad and I had our runarounds with each other. My dad and I got in a couple fights at times, but at the end of the day, he was my dad, and I never forgot that. I never forgot, that he was always there for me at the moment that I needed him. So that's always an important thing. And, like you're saying, we have to tell our kids the same thing. They need to know that.
Yeah, also too, going back to the main topic of fathers, nature versus nurture, to inherit it, things you've learned. I think a lot of the things that I think everyone on the panel here can agree, a lot of the things that we are a result of the male role models in our lives,
Well, let me touch on that, man.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
My dad was chased away by my mom when I was a kid at gunpoint. And it took me from the age of 5 to 17, so 7 years of growing up without a male role model, a steady one, a couple of boyfriends and stuff like that in between, and learning from friends and stuff. And so it's definitely having a steady, regular, good role model, father figure. It definitely plays a part in one's life. Mm-hmm. I know from living the life, from having this life that I've lived and looking back on it, I shouldn't have done a lot of shit. And my mom was the only one, and well, for the most part, only one. And I was a latchkey kid. So it was a lot of just me and my sister, just alone, doing our own thing. No rules, no regulations until mom got back home and went back to work. And these other male role models, like, how the hell do I respect them? She had friends that were saying, beat us with fucking fishing poles. with the eyelet still in it because we won't listen, because we won't behave. You know, wire coat hangers, fucking garden hoses. You know, so having a steady role model, a good one, a male one, it's extremely important, and extremely important for these women to respect that.
Oh yeah.
To respect that they are not having to raise this child all by themselves. All right?
Mhm.
I mean, damn it, man. And these commercials are emasculating men. Constantly just saying, oh, this idiot threw his freaking golf club in because he's a man. You know? The fuck is... Anyways, I'm just trying to say my point, man.
No, you're absolutely right.
It's... Go ahead, man. I just want to touch on that. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Zod.
Don't be sorry.
Oh no, that's a great point. You know, it's you know, behaviors that are learned, and I think Stevie was touching on this. You know, it all comes back to both of the parents, right? You know, good or bad. We're picking up traits from both parents. You know, it's not just one or the other. I mean, you can have the best mom in the world, but then have a dad who's been in the background, you know, working against the other side, or you know, and then you got that conflict that happens between both of them, and it's like, you know, there has to be a balance. And you know, that's was my main reason for wanting to do this stream and do a shout out to the men, because everybody has an important role and we should all be equally celebrated. You know, females should be celebrated on Mother's Day. They should get the shout outs, they should get the praise, they should be recognized for their contributions, for you know, carrying a child and having that mothering, nurturing side that the child's going to need. And males need to be praised for the other end of it, right? Raising our kids to be strong, to be tough, you know, to have that other end of it, to learn the survival skills that they're going to need. And not only the survival skills, but as DP very, very, you know, pointed out very elegantly, is that they also need to learn the right ways to treat the woman, right? That piece is always forgot about it by these fucking SJWs. They always want to downgrade males, but why aren't we talking about how having the males talk to about the proper ways of treating a lady will prevent some of the things that they're talking about?
Let's go on that real quick. Who taught you how to open a door for a woman or how to treat a woman? My father did, kind of, but you know what? I'm an only child. I was with my mom a lot because my dad worked a lot. But when my dad could have me at work, I went with him to work. But I'll tell you right now, the funny thing is if you open a door for a woman, there's some women out there now that look at you like you're the worst person in the world, the worst piece of shit, because, oh my God, you don't have to do that for me. I'm better than that, whatever. It's like, you know, I was told as a child that was a proper thing to do. That as a man, my job was to do that, not because you're a lesser person. No, because it's respectful, you know. And I hate how that crap is just twisted around these days. And you know, and like you said, strong father figures. And you're absolutely right. You know, with the TV and all this crap, say, you know, he's just a man, or he's stupid because he's a man, or this or that. You know, it's ridiculous. Why can't people just let a man be a man? That's our job. I mean, I was born, excuse my language, I was born with dick and balls for a reason, I guess. You know, and it's really sickening that today's society takes away what a father means to be. And now Father's Day it seems like it's a bone that's just thrown to us. Okay, shut up. You got a day. Here you go. And I know it's been around for a long time, but you got these SJWs and stuff that want, it's like they just, I can't.
Thousands of centuries, man. Thousands of centuries
Oh, I
of
looked
men being the
for this.
provider, protector.
11 by the Catholic Church, believe it or not, wow, were the ones who actually started the tradition of honoring fathers. 1911. Just think about that. That is crazy. I didn't look up when Mother's Day was, but
The thing is like you said, thousands of centuries, men were the providers. There's nothing wrong with a woman who can take care of herself. There's nothing wrong. I have nothing against that. But don't bite my head off if I'm trying to be nice and trying to do something for you.
You know what? I raised my boys to open doors.
Yeah.
Because
Amen.
who taught me? My mother. My mother taught me to open doors for women. And I do it to this day.
Yeah.
I hold the door open if I'm leaving and I see someone coming in. I hold the door open.
Exactly.
My kids, if there's double doors and I have all my kids with me, one boy will open up the door and we wait for the woman to go through.
Exactly.
And the other one will rush through and open the door for her as well. I've had compliments on this. You know why? Because it's the right thing to do.
Exactly.
Chivalry isn't fucking dead. It's trying to be killed.
Exactly. And it's a fight every day because it's you got these people. And again, I say this all the time. These SJWs, the people who are against this stuff, the chivalry and all that, they don't understand something here. It's very simple. They don't stand for anything. They don't know what they stand for. They don't know what they believe in. They just want to be against everything. That's what they believe in is nothing. They don't believe in honor. They don't believe in chivalry. They don't believe in being a strong man. They don't even believe in being a strong woman. Don't believe a damn thing they say. They don't believe in inclusiveness. They don't believe in respect. They don't believe in equality of any sort.
Because they have weak moral ethics and values. They don't have any foundations. They don't have any fortitude.
And that's the thing. My dad taught me it didn't matter what color your skin was. If you're respectful to me, I'd be respectful to you. That's how life works.
Can I toss in something about chivalry?
Sure, go right ahead.
It's chivalry isn't really dead, but it's, people are misusing it because chivalry really is about medieval battle etiquette.
Yes.
And some lady I met said chivalry was dead, so I challenged her to physical combat. And it turns out I'm way better at jousting.
There you go.
Yeah, so chivalry is very much alive. She, though, yeah, she got nailed.
Stig, I love you, man. I love you to death. You're awesome.
Cheers, Stig.
Oh, and speaking of which, DP, I will join you in that. This right here. Hold on, I'm gonna share my own screen here.
I have to go get some. I didn't bring any down here.
The hell is wrong with you, man?
I ran down here so it was late.
This is a
Give me a second. I'll be back.
for the working man. Yeah, Jeremy, I took your
For the
sandwich.
fathers. For the fathers.
I only have
For the
lemonade.
father.
I'm
Cheers.
drinking like a pansy.
I'm not going to comment on that.
I only got one because Bitchy is monitoring me.
Hey, I just want to say, hey, guys, I only got 2 hours with my kids today in over a month's time of seeing them. And this right here, I really appreciate the invite, Zod. I really, really do. And I'm a hurting unit, but I'll maintain. And I got much love and respect for all of you. Believe that. If anybody thinks, my jokes are kind of harsh or kind of crude or kind of rude, they're just jokes. All right? I don't wish any ill will or anything like that amongst anybody. All right. And that's my piece, man.
No, man. You've been on the channel for quite a while now, and we've talked back and forth quite a bit. And this stream, I didn't give a shit what position us dads are in. You know why? Because we all have a story. We all have a story of things that have happened. Being a parent isn't a smooth street, okay? It's not the fucking Captain Marvel challenge where we're pushing a Jeep on flat ground, all right? There's
I know.
there's valleys, there's hills, there's shit that we've got to navigate. And we've not only got to navigate ourselves, but we've got to navigate another person through these obstacles and through these challenges. We've got to not only figure our shit out, but then we've got this little person where we got to tell them, the right and wrong things. And how many of us wake up a day going, shit, I don't even know what the right thing is, Sometimes
know.
we don't know what the plan is. But, here we are. Here we are doing the best that we can.
Okay.
Lonely, what's up, man? He
All right.
says hello to all of you fathers abandoning your children to watch.
Stig, I think, remembers this.
I remember.
No.
Okay, so there's very little left because, well, Stig was there the last two times.
Cheers, man. Oh my! I was just
LB cutting to the quick.
all right.
So cheers, guys.
Oh,
Cheers.
that one. Yeah, I've seen that one before.
Twice.
It had a lot more stuff in it last time I saw.
Yes. It's down to.
And so did you.
Yes.
All right. I wanted to give a shout out really quick to the chat. We got 10 people watching. Thank you, everyone who's joining us. We have the Lonely Banter joining us. I'm glad, so he's not so lonely. And just so you know, as far as I go, my daughter went back tonight, bro. That's why I'm doing this Father's Day celebration. I wanted to celebrate the dads out there, the single fathers, all of us who are working hard and trying to be good dads to our kids because we love them. And, trying to give credit where credit is due, because the fucking media won't do it. And, other people won't do it.
I'm a guy, and I just thought of this. And I'm a guy who doesn't mind science. Science is a good thing. Science teaches us a lot of things, and we've discovered a lot of things because of science. It's going to get us to Mars eventually someday, and who knows, someday we may not even live on this rock. But if there's one thing I could definitely say that I am not happy that science has done, is it's found a way to make it so dads weren't necessary. They have come up with a way of basically making a dad a small amount of liquid in a bottle that they freeze and they inseminate a woman with. I understand that there are times when maybe that's necessary, but in a world today that is against men in a big way, it's almost like that's just the easy way out. You don't have to even talk to a guy anymore if you're a woman. You can just go to a store, buy something, get it put in. 9 months later, you have a kid. Fuck the dad. Literally, that's how I feel. That makes me feel.
Yep.
And it's ridiculous, and I just thought of that. It's like we live in a world where theoretically, if you don't want to have a father in your child's life, you don't have to. What world is that? Really, I mean, what kind of world is a world that... I have no problems with two women who want to have a child together, that want to raise a kid. I don't necessarily have a problem with that, okay? I understand if that's your sexual orientation, fine. That's fine. I'm not against that. But what I am against is a woman who is 100% against men and doesn't want to have a man in their life in any way, shape, or form, and yet they'll steal the one part of a man that it makes it the ability for them to have a child, just so they don't have to have a father in their kid's life. That's ridiculous.
I mean, you need a role model, and the thing is they're supplementing male role models with all these. Oh, I'm single mama. I'm a single mama, and then they get the welfare in, and they get the psychologists in, and then they got the support groups, and then they have these pseudo freaking fathers come take the place. Why is the father gone in the first place? Oh, it's not the women's fault. It's not the fucking women's fault. No, they ain't pushing away the man. They ain't pushing away the husband. They ain't pushing away. No. They're the victim. They're the victim. You know what I'm saying? So they replace it with all these beta ass guys that are, through the social services to teach and raise and say, learn what to say.
Chris, about that.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
They're taking away the masculinity. They're giving it all to the women's.
I mean, Asian culture. I mean, Lee, you're in martial arts. What's the big thing in Asian culture? It's yin and yang, and there's a reason for it.
The balance, man. It's the balance. And they're.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
They're big with the male representation, with fathers doing their duty. It's an honorable thing, over there. It's a big thing for the males. They go as far as you disgrace your family, and my goodness, that's like that's like that. I mean, back in the day, that was seppuku. You might as well just fucking fall on the sword.
I have some very good advice for young men out there.
Go ahead, Steve. Lay some knowledge down.
Yeah, if you're sleeping with a woman, right, and you use a condom, get a ribbed condom and put it on inside out. It feels better.
Lee, you should not have drank at that moment. Stig almost killed Lee on his own stream.
Well, I mean, if you put it inside out, does that work opposite? Like it shoots all the sperm out, or does it keep all the sperm?
No, it's ribbed.
Ribbed for you.
We talking about like opposite day here.
No, if it ribs, it has like lumps on it for her pleasure. But if you turn it inside out, you get the
pleasure.
Well, I get that, but like if you turn a condom inside out, that's supposed to be keeping her from getting pregnant, right?
No, he's got a point. So if
you turn it inside out,
in both ways, not only now is it for your pleasure, but does it get her pregnant?
It's like she gets extra pregnant.
If it's inside out, maybe that's how guys get pregnant.
Oh, whoa.
Whoa, shit, mind blown.
Damn, you know what though? I'd be a millionaire though. Too bad I don't do this anymore. Damn.
Oh my goodness.
There's another thing my dad taught me after I had my second kid, and this is actually funny. I tell people this all the time, but it was him that said it. He says, obviously your oldest son didn't teach you to only have one child. And I said, what do you mean? He says, well, you had two. I says, well, what does that mean? He says, you taught me really quick. Also, I'm going to give you a story about me and my dad here. It was really funny. No, actually, it wasn't. There's a reason why I'm not fixed at this moment. My dad came home from having it snipped and clipped, and he was laying down with ice on his crotch and had all these fans blowing on him, and he was just out of the hospital in pain. And I think he stayed overnight. I was really young, so I don't really remember. I think, though, he stayed overnight back then. And my dad came home, and, of course, I'm a dad's boy, so I ran into the living room and said, Dad, and I jumped leapt across the living room and landed right on his crotch with my knee.
Oh,
I have said to this day that I will never have that done until my kids are long out of my house, because I know that karma is waiting in the wings looking for that to happen.
Oh yeah.
so
Oh my.
yeah, forget that. I'm gonna get one up on karma, eh?
I'm trying.
My sister's ex-husband at this point, but husband at the time, was fucking dude liked to do the nut tap game,
Oh,
right?
hate
I
that
like to
game.
do that. I was like, motherfucker, all right, let's get this on. Let's do it. Let's do this. And so months and months and months go by, and he goes and gets a vasectomy. And I'm like, a month later, I forget about it. I'm like, whatever. Fucking, he's climbing up on a ladder, on a little 3-foot ladder, trying to reach up into the rafters above the fucking garage and grab some shit. And I'm like, not that, whap! I tag him. Extra loose fingers, like a week after his vasectomy. Fucking blow! He about dropped and died. He about fell fucking 3 foot and died. I was like, and he's like, oh, why'd you do it? Oh, he's screaming and shit. And I'm like, oh, got you. And like my sister looks at me like, he had a vasectomy. And I'm like, oh no. Well, I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry. He's like, I'm gonna get you back. Oh. I'm like,
I noticed you did the old school Godzilla voice. You were like, "Oh no!"
Oh, he's so bad. Oh no!
Okay, he Godzilla. I am Tokyo. No, I was like, oh crap. Oh damn. So yeah, for the next fucking year, I watched my back hardcore. Well, actually the front, but still, you know what I mean. He was gunning, man. I'm like, oh my god, I ain't seen him in a couple years, so I think I'm all right.
You walk into the store one day, you're gonna be on one of our streams, and all of a sudden we're gonna hear you go, "Oh, motherfucker!"
You're gonna hear me
jump out the bushes.
right? You're gonna be like,
Sounds kind of like his mom does to him. Just kind of hides out in places that he's not expecting it, just to kick his ass.
Let me share my story here. Probably some people know it, but for the viewers who don't, so for years, I have tried and failed to jump my mom.
Wait. Say that a little more
clearly. Yeah.
Jump your mom.
Say, whoop your mom's ass. They say, sneak up and whoop your mom's ass. You got to be more.
Jumping your mom sounds a little.
Y'all. Oh my goodness. Okay, you sick-minded white toxic males.
Listen,
dude, you got a panel full of them.
Homeless.
No, I've tried to attack my mom with various martial arts techniques. Now, for all of you who don't know, my mom's a 2nd degree black belt, which is a degree higher than me, which is vast amount of
because
experience.
You just got a rank advancement, right?
Yeah, she's 1 rank up. My rank will be in the next. I tested, so I just got a stripe, so 2 more stripes, and I'll be a temporary 2nd, and then I get my 2nd degree after I test out of that. But I'm looking at a couple of
your ass then.
Yeah, she still will. So every year, this started when I was about 11. Every year, I would try to devise a way of taking her out. One year, I tried to sweep her. She looked like a ninja and jumped over my leg and then landed and then took me to the ground and gave me a throat strike. The next year, I had made a great plan. I hid in brush, and then I leaped out, and she flipped me over her shoulder.
So,
and
what you said it was a great plan actually was a failed and horrible one.
Yes. At the time, the brush looked high enough. It was about 10 o'clock at night, and I still got taken out. So the final year, I was about 17, 18, been working out, whatever. And she had groceries. And I go, oh, one thing my mom won't do is drop the groceries. Anyone who goes shopping knows, okay? She will not drop the groceries. Made sure she was carrying the bag with the eggs because she definitely won't drop that, right? So I go up and I run and I leap majestically, trying to get her to headlock. And I swear to God, it looked like Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. She drops the bags, grabs me, flips me over, grabs the bags before they hit the ground, and goes, try again next year, son. And I said, fuck that. I'm waiting until she's about 90 and kicking a cane out from under her. Shit ain't working. Yeah, well, it was crazy. It was crazy. And
See, the thing is your failed idea of that plan is that she will take that cane as soon as you like kick it out from under her. She will flip it around, and it will come and clock you right in the jaw, knock you 3 feet back. She will jump, do a flying kick right on to your throat, and say, "Try when I'm dead."
I'm never visiting that family.
Oh, come on. That sounds like a fucking great reunion, man. My family, we get down like that. I mean, shoot.
Oh yeah,
Within a family is perfect.
My mom is awesome. We go out to the bar together and chill, you know. And my dad, you know, when we get together now and me and him patch things up, and we're a lot better than we used to be. I remember the one time came to see me on my 17th birthday, and my mom asked me, she goes, "What do you want for your birthday?" And I go, "Well, you know what, Ma, I want to get drunk." And she goes, "Well, you know, it's in the house, so I guess that's fine." She goes, "Are you sure?" I'm like, "Yeah." So she brought cases of beer. Let me pick out a liquor I wanted. I picked out Jack Daniels, of course. And she was like, "All right, are you sure? We're gonna party it up." I was like, "Yeah, Mom's letting me drink. This is what I want to do." And she was like, she was like, she goes, "Okay." So you know, I finished a bottle of Jack. We go through a case of beer, get some more, and I got Hall of Fame sick. What I didn't know was my dad actually flew in from Florida to come and see me for my birthday and surprise me. So he got in late, and I was hungover all night with a garbage bag by the bed. He was just sitting there. He was so pissed because my dad doesn't drink. And he was like, "The one time I fly in here," and I was drunk. So the next day he was talking loud. He woke me up about 8 o'clock in the morning. He's like, "Hey, son, how are you doing?" I'm like, "Oh, it's too loud. The lights, the sound." It was bad.
Yeah, make you suffer that fucking hangover. Hell yeah.
Oh.
That's how dads do. Shit. That's how dads do, man. I mean, come on. You're not gonna harangue your kids, man, and they get fucking all tossed up sideways and try to sleep in. Like, nope, you got shit to do. Get up.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, going down the panel, I want to do something. I'll start with you, Chris. I'll share my story last, but I want you guys to tell me like an awesome story you had with your dad. So we'll go with you, Chris, and kind of go down the line. Chris, what's a good story you have with your dad?
Well, I don't know, the last 10 years that my dad and I spent together, he got really bad. He he had a lot of health issues most of my life. I mean, I was told my father was going to die when he was in 1980 when I was 3 years old. I don't remember that per se, but I remember in 84 when I was told that. I remember in 87 when I was told that. 90, 93, 99, the year my son was born in 2002, 2003. I was told my dad was going to die a lot, and he came out of it all the time. But my dad started buying tickets. He used to buy tickets to the Kansas City Royals every year. His mom did it for a long time and took us every year. We'd go to all 82 games. But he started buying tickets to the Kansas City Royals again, probably about 4 years before he died, 4 or 5 years. And he started taking me all the time, and we started going there. Like I said, I had done stuff in my past that he wasn't happy with. My dad was a recovering alcoholic. He always was. Drank a lot. And I remember the conversation one day. He said, gave me some money and he said, hey, go up there, get us some brats and get us a couple of beers. And I said, I had told him, I said, if you just leave me alone about my life, I will leave you alone about your drinking. But when he asked me to go get the beer, I was like, I never had a beer with my dad. And so I went and I got 2 beers, and my dad and I spent about 30 games that year, not drinking a ton, but drinking together. And I don't know, I just remember the talks we had, just talking about baseball and just BS and all that. So some of the best times that I ever had with my dad was the last few years of his life. And I would never sell that for anything in my world. I can tell you right now, when I was 17, going to the military, a lot of things like that, just going everywhere, doing all sorts of things. I never really was a fan of my dad. When I had my kids, things started to change a little bit. We still had our issues. And then he, I don't know, there was just that point that I hit. And it was like, he was my best friend. Just my absolute best friend. And I just wish I had more of that. Because I saw my dad dying. I knew it was coming at some point, but I wasn't prepared for it. That was what got me the most. Of all the times I was told that he was going to die, this is the one time I wasn't prepared for it. So, but it was just my dad asking me to go order a beer and drink with him. And it's like, hell yeah. So, yeah, I was really happy about that.
Thanks, man. I know that must have been a pretty tough one, and I appreciate you sharing that because, I want us to all share the good times. Gives us perspective. You know what I mean? Perspective on great things that dads instill in our lives. So, Stevie just joined the panel. Stevie, what is a good memory you have with your dad?
Oh, that's a good question. I got a lot of good memories with my old man. One of them, I suppose, would be when he used to coach me playing footy or football. He coached me right from when I was playing. I started when I was 5 years old, and he coached me up until I was about sort of 15 or something. And yeah, it was good. We used to drive to the games together, and he taught me a lot about just resilience, I guess, and putting in a good effort and just all those little things that I think the time just spent with him, on the way to the games, during the games, and learning a lot from him about life on those trips. And the time was the main thing for me. And my old man wasn't really he was one of those people who was really reserved. Like, he wasn't emotional at all, didn't really display affection and those sorts of things. And that I didn't, it wasn't really a negative, I guess, but he wasn't the type to, kind of give you a hug here and there or be super emotional about anything he was saying or doing or whatever. But I really respected him all the time, and I always knew where I stood with him as well. He he was always really clear about what his thoughts were or what he wanted or expected from me, and so I sort of saw that as a him as like a rock, if that makes sense, because he was always consistent, always the same. When on the opposite to that, and I know it's not the same for everybody, but on the opposite to that, like my mum was all over the place, and she really didn't know what she was doing or what was going on in life, and so to have him there as a steady sort of person was awesome.
That is awesome, man.
So you're saying your father was steady and pretty there all the time?
Oh yeah, because look, I don't want to bore everyone, but like I went through my childhood was pretty tumultuous. My parents split up, and then I was moving back and forth between each parent I think it was about 10 or 11 times. I moved house and moved between parents and lived with one, then lived with the other, and all that kind of stuff. And it was one of those classic kind of situations where my mum would say negative things about my old man, like he's this, he's that kind of stuff. But to my old man's credit, he never ever once said a bad word about my mum, and he still hasn't to this day. So I really respected him for that, and I didn't probably realize it until I got older how much, and especially since I became a parent, how how well he contained his frustration at her, but she couldn't do the reverse. So yeah, it was interesting.
Yeah, I know all about that. So respects, man. Cheers.
Yeah,
D, do you have any stories for us?
Oh, I got stories galore. But see now, I barely knew my pops. All right, I already told you about being chased out with the gun and whatnots. And my mom did the exact same thing as Stevie J did, just talk smack, mad smack about my pops, And then I met the man, and he never said a single bad word. And then I had to dip out real quick, because I fucked up. But before all the bad shit happened, man, the best memory of my pops, I mean, he died back in like 2009, and I got flown in off a fire in Montana back over here, rush order. I got a private jet and everything by the federal government saying, hey, your dad's dying, you need to go. I was like, all right, let's go. No last words. He was in a drug-induced coma, and the last words I can't remember his last words because it's been years. He had a hole in his throat for years and shit. He was on dialysis, but it was a rough one. Seeing the father you knew says he loved you, he wanted to be there for you, but was being pushed away. Well, I don't know. The fondest memory I got was whenever I took him, I drove him to dialysis and took him back, and we was done with it. We'd go to this one restaurant, and he'd order French dip sandwiches for the both of us, and we'd sit there. He'd have a scotch on the rocks, and I'd have a pint of beer, Budweiser at the time, and we'd sit there and just have a good meal together. And He also taught me how to read lips. You know, at the time I could read lips from at the time I used to be able to read lips through binoculars and just see what somebody had to say. When it was firefighting, I'd be, my homeboy thought it was amazing. He challenged me all the time. And so that was going to that restaurant and sitting down with my pops. A man I barely knew. And we, just conversationalize a little bit from what we knew of each other. That was it's a blessed memory. I'll always keep.
That's awesome. You know what? That's an example of even the small things, man. That's a great story. Really awesome. Thank you for sharing that. Stig, what's a fond memory you have with your dad?
Pretty much all of them. I had I have a very, very good dad. Rock solid, and he's also one of my best friends at the same time. And a lot of the really cool memories, I think, are also being made today, in my case, because my dad pops over to my place a few times a month to watch movies with me. So we have movie mornings, and yeah, there's so many good things. I remember sitting outside my sister's bedroom, just outside the door, and when I was a kid, and listening to my dad read books to my sister. And he knew I was there though, but I didn't I didn't want to admit that I wanted to listen to those childish stories as well, because I was a few years older than my sister, and he knew I was there, and he'd try to catch me sitting outside that door. Was turned into a little game by itself. I guess, yeah, like I said, all of my memories of my dad are very good ones. So I guess I'm very lucky in that regard.
Dude, that's awesome.
That's
Well,
awesome.
it's good. It's good that you recognize that too, man. That
Yes,
is beautiful.
it's important, really important to recognize what you have rather than chase off after what you want. Because if you can't appreciate what you have, you'll never be happy with getting the stuff you want later.
Yeah.
I think.
That
Yeah,
is
for sure.
that is some truth right there. And now, one of my fondest moments, in my younger days, me and my dad, no matter what kind of things happen and mistakes that he made, there was one tradition we always had, and I do this with my daughter now, is that he would always take me to the movies, which is why I think I ended up working at a movie theater myself, and he'd always take me to the movies and explain to me like film quality, like how about directors don't do this and things like that. And I remember that I had been smoking weed for quite some time, and I never told my dad, and I never knew that he knew, but I guess he had figured it out, as parents tend to do. And so my dad.
Uh-oh.
Yeah,
Wait a
Hey,
minute.
Lee.
No, I think he froze. I don't know. Give it a second, though.
Isn't
Yo,
that
that
Phantom?
Oh, there he is. He's moving around.
that Phantom Zone got you, man.
Oh, come on, Lee. break the Phantom Zone.
Come on, break the barrier.
Break it. Break it.
You can do it, Lee.
You can do it.
Use the Force, Lee.
Use the Force, Lee. Lose the Force.
My
There you
dad rolled us one, and we sat outside of the theater. And
Lee,
No,
you might have to
ca-
start over.
Yeah, nobody's catching your story. You're
Someone,
skipping.
someone in the chat let him know that we can't hear him properly.
Lee.
Wait, am I still frozen?
No, yeah, you're still here, but you need to start your whole story over again.
Oh, jeez.
No, really, we caught like the first 10 seconds, and then you went into the Phantom Zone.
Yeah, that fan. The Phantom Zone put you in the fucking censored zone, dude.
All right, so start over from square one.
All right, so me and my dad had a tradition. We would go and see movies together, no matter, what stuff was going on and stuff. He would take me to go see a movie, and as I got older, we would do different things, and I think I was 21 at the time, and we were sitting outside of the parking lot. We're going to see a comedy. We both don't remember to this day what that comedy was, but my dad goes, "Hey, you want some of this?" Rolling up a joint. And I thought this was like a trick question, because I'm like, there's no way my dad is offering me weed. This must be like one of those tests, where it's like, it's like I'm supposed to say, no, drugs are bad, kind of a thing. And he was like, no. He was like, I know you smoke. I'm not stupid. Because there's been some days I picked you up. It was pretty obvious. And I was like, oh. And he goes, I got some good shit. And I was like, just looking, because, you don't expect your folks to say something like that. So I was like, well, yeah, I guess. So we sat outside of the movie theater parking lot, and for the life of me, I know we had an amazing time, but whatever the fuck he got, I can't for the life of me remember what movie it was. It was one of the ever.
Yo, I've been to the theaters many times, and I don't remember what the fuck I watched either. Cheers.
Oh, and lonely. Bro, that was hilarious what he just put. No, yeah, I'd be snitching myself out too, because I got high as fuck. I'm not gonna lie, man. It was a good time, but I just remember thinking like, wow, my dad gets better product than me. What the fuck?
Hey, I got a subject to touch on.
Sure.
So y'all heard about this zombie unicorn chick, right?
Yeah. What's going on with that? I've
All right.
seen it buzzed around in Twitter.
She's a Twitch thought, right? She paints her titties and jiggles them on Twitch and whatnots. Well, she goes to E3 and she puts these E3 dancers on blast. Like, these companies are straight throwing these women out for sex symbols, as objects. But she's over there on Twitch, like, tossing her titties out. And I'm thinking, dude, you do the exact same thing, but not for a company. And you ain't as good looking as these chicks over here. What's this coming from? Where your daddy issues at? Does she have a daddy? You know what I'm saying?
Well, she's basically making money out of showing her tits to 12-year-olds.
Uh-huh.
That's
Oh,
not a cool thing.
Yeah. So where them dad issues at is what I'm thinking. She got daddy issues. You guys think
Oh,
she's got dad issues?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, she's looking for a sugar daddy.
Sounds like it's time for you to step up to the plate, Stig.
Mhm.
Show her what a real man is, Stig. Go in there, break down her door right in the middle of her Twitch stream, and go like, "Hello there."
And then I'll go, "You aren't the tits I'm looking for." Then I'll just leave.
Yo, she got the face of a beauty, but the body of a potato.
Yeah,
Hey,
actually, this is a great point. To the role model figure. You know, you got to wonder, like, people like Rimfamous or these other point. Or these other ones here. You got to wonder if maybe it starts with the dad not being there. Why they're so bitter and angry and upset, attacking males and everyone else. There's got to be something to it.
Ever notice that people like that tend to attack others for doing things they're basically doing themselves?
Yeah, it's almost like getting
It's-
the spotlight off of them.
Yeah, it's something I've noticed. People, yeah, it's like projecting almost.
she wants
Yeah,
that
project-
daddy attention, is what I'm thinking, but that she never got that as she's a kid, and she's trying to shun everybody that's getting that paycheck and attention. You know what I'm saying?
Well, you know, I'm not trying to create a stereotype here, but there's a lot of strip clubs. I've talked to my fair share of strippers, and it all started at the home.
No wonder Lee only has 5s, 10s, and 20s in his pocket. He ain't got no ones.
You know, so I got an upfront story here. This is unrelated to Father's Day, but just hilarious. I got kicked out of a strip club because I wanted to break that stereotype that you absolutely need to tip. So I refused to tip the whole night. Let me tell you, I did not pull that shit off for long. I was thrown out of the club for not tipping. I didn't know that was a thing.
Oh yeah, you have to.
Yeah, I didn't know. I pulled the Chris. Well, maybe all you guys will get this reference, but I pulled a Steve Buscemi. I said, "Why tip?" They're like, "I don't McDonald's."
Well, you gotta pay entrance fee. You gotta pay double the fee for the fucking booze, and now
Exactly.
you gotta pay for the entertainment. I got you. No, I got you, man.
That's
You got
exact points I made.
a big old blue whale on there. You gotta pay for that? No, hell no. That's not what I'm looking for. I want, nice slender body, nice titties.
Listen, they kicked you out because you weren't helping the young women with their college degrees.
Oh
come
my
on.
goodness.
How many of us have sat down at those tables and they'll come up and be like, "Well, I'm only doing this until I graduate from college," and then I just casually will look across the room and go like, "Well, what about that 40-year-old stripper over there? What is she doing?"
She's the one who opted out of the degree.
All right, guys, I got to get off of here. I have a very, 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 very early morning tomorrow. So it was nice talking with all you guys. So I appreciate the memories and the talking about dads because it's important we do that. So I'm getting out of here, guys. Thank you very much. See you guys all.
Hey, man,
See
Chris,
you,
have a good
Chris.
night, man. Happy Father's
it
Day, brother.
Same to you. Everybody, happy Father's Day.
Have a good day, Chris.
All right. Talk to you guys later.
All right. So, as for myself, I kind of wind things down because, believe it or not, I'm doing a double header tonight. I will be doing the late night uh, chats with. It should be interesting because I'm about 2 or 3 beers in, so we'll see how this goes. But I want to thank everyone who has been on: Stevie J, DP, Stig, Chris Knight. Um, I want to thank the people who are fathers. You know, we got Drunk C3PO, Geek in Disguise, you know, Shellback, just, and I'm sure there's a shit ton of people that I am forgetting to name, but this stream is for you. This stream is for all of the fathers out there. Just know that this panel and everyone who's watched, everyone who's hit that like button, they respect what you do. And, you know, this is your day. You know, we still got, what, 2 hours? I know PB's going to make a joke. Phantom Zone time. We got, you know, we got 2 hours to enjoy this holiday. Please show some love to the fathers out there. You know, make sure you let dads know that they are appreciated, that they're respected, and that they're valued. And maybe if we valued men's input a little bit more, then they wouldn't be so quick to leave. Maybe if we forgave people for mistakes that they made, then they would want to correct them instead of being stereotypical, and instead of sitting back and blaming a whole group of people. Maybe what we need to do is to treat both sexes on equal fucking footing. I don't know. Crazy idea. I know, SJWs. But maybe if we treated both men and women equally, there wouldn't be a divide. I don't know. Crazy thought.
I
Just
know, right?
You know,
I
maybe.
Especially,
just be
and
helpful instead of attacking people. That would
absolutely.
go a long way.
A hand up. A hand up. Give each other a hand up on your way up. You know? You get up that ladder rung, hey, grab down and fucking pull up your partner. It doesn't matter what sex or whatever it is, you know? Pull up your partner. Don't fucking keep them down. You know?
Exactly. And, you know, thank you, 11 people who are watching. Thank you, everyone who came by for this stream. I really appreciate it. And thank you to this great community. I was glad because, you know, I had my daughter, but what really made me happy today was when I went on and I saw a bunch
Hey,
of
Stevie.
people. There's Stevie.
Sorry, guys, I lost lost the signal.
Channel.
Oh, what'd you say?
I lost my signal before. That's why I got cut off.
We got
It was something to
Terrence
do with
and we
the
got
Phantom
Jermaine in
Zone.
the chat too now.
But
Man, I think he might be cutting off too soon. We got some very good people in the fucking chat.
oh my goodness, you know, I was about to wind things down, but you know what? I got an hour I could play around with, and as long as I still have people coming in, screw it. Let's keep this party rolling. So, Stevie, you are
Hey,
Yes.
fondest memories with your dad. Go ahead and give us a great story you have.
Well, do you know what? I might go a different track if that's all right. Because
Yeah, go ahead.
my granddad was actually one of the most influential people for me.
Mm.
He was, so we lived in the country, and he was the person who taught me how to shoot, taught me how to fish, taught me how to, you know, box. I was never that good, but anyway, you know, he taught me all that stuff. And probably some of my best memories were with him, because he was really calm, really cool. You know, he taught me about respecting and loving your country. He was the reason I ended up joining the military as well, because of, you know, the way that he spoke about it and his service that he gave and all that kind of thing. So, you know, for me, we used to drive out. It was probably a, you know, 30-40 minute drive out to where we used to go shooting, and spending that time with him, just talking, and he was someone who always listened to what I had to say as well, and just taught me so much. And when he passed away, I didn't realize at the time, but it hit me really hard when he passed away, because he was kind of that person I'd always go to, and someone you just have a chat with all the time, and you learn a lot from, and that sort of thing. So yeah, that was probably some of my fondest memories.
LOL.
That's awesome, dude. That's awesome, man. Because my grandpa was a huge influence in my life as well, man. Huge. He served in the Marines and stuff like that, and we'd sit on the front porch. Man, and I just wanted to sit there next to him, be with him. And all he did was sit on the front porch with his a big old flask of water, sit there and drink the water, and just look out over the freaking street and twiddle his thumbs. So that's what I'd do. I'd sit there next to him, take a drink of water with him, twiddle my thumbs. Even though I slept above that motherfucker in a bunk bed, and his nasty ass was too lazy to go to the bathroom, he'd just roll over, whip his dick out, and piss in a gallon milk jug every night. And he had the stinkiest piss. I couldn't hide from that. I couldn't hide. No pillow, no cover would filter the smell of piss rising up as he was going inside of a goddamn milk jug. Motherfucker.
Well, actually, just staying with Granddad for a second, he and on the conversation topic about dads, and earlier we were talking about the roles of men, women, all that kind of stuff. Anyway, there's a lot of talk as well about how men aren't that emotional, and it's true. I mean, day to day, they're not. But my granddad, we didn't live close to them. We lived a fair way away, so we only visited them a few times a year. And anyway, he was you never saw him really that emotional. But the only time that he was any time that me and my brothers were there visiting, and then when we go to leave, he sort of was always welling up with tears every time we left. It was just something I always remembered when we left his house, that he always just got upset when we were leaving. So it's not that I don't think it's about men being non-emotional or whatever. It's just not unnecessarily, if that makes sense.
That's that's a good point, man. And Terrence is in the chat. Hey, man, do you have a Twitter? Because I could just drop you a DM if you let me know your Twitter. It'd be much easier than the email thing. So, like that.
He doesn't have a Twitter.
No, he said he was setting one up, I believe. Could be wrong, though.
Oh, he finally decided to join the humans. Okay.
He may have. I don't know. That's why I posed the question. Because if not, then I'll send him an email. Or send email.
I have to pop off now. I'm starving. Need to eat.
That is all right, Stig. Thank you for coming on. I appreciate having you, man.
No, thank you for having me on, and thanks to all the others that were on the panel for their heartwarming stories and wise words. And thank you to everyone who was in the chat watching.
Stig, thank you very much for
Yeah, Stig has contact now.
Yeah.
And it's good content.
He endured our fucking rants and raves for the most part, and shared some of his lovely stories, and what could be possibly happening with a stable life with families, and thank you very much, Stig. It's very much appreciated, and much love to you.
Well, thank you. It warms the heart. And
it does.
Have a great Father's Day, all of you.
You too, Stig.
Later, Stig.
Bye for now.
So, Kal-El, you have some heartwarming stories about Jonathan Kent. Go ahead and give us a good story you have with your dad.
I tried to save a bus once. He told me not to do it, and he walked into the tornado. The end.
Oh, Kevin, don't do that. Mr. Costner. Damn it. Not for a dog.
How's it going?
Terrence, what's up, man?
What's up? What's up?
Hey,
We are doing a special Father's Day stream, sharing stories, and the first half was that I did was kind of for the dads, but now I want people's perspective. So I want to know, what is a good story that you have?
here, I'll be right back.
Yeah, I don't have too many good stories about my dad because me and him we don't really get along. Um, I guess like when I was a kid, there was more happier times, but like by the time I reached the age of like 14, and that's when it started going downhill, and he started talking a lot of shit to me and stuff like that. He's not the worst human on the planet. It's just usually me and him, we don't see eye to eye when it comes to various thoughts. But that's actually the case with me and most humans. They seem to have a problem with me. So, it's just more the same thing, except that he happens to be family.
Yeah, that, and we were talking about that too. You know, if there are times where you're gonna have those disagreements. I think we got into this earlier with Chris and Knight and them, where as we grow up and have our own ideals and independent thoughts,
Right.
there's be a natural separation between father and son, mother and son, mother and daughter. I hear that's a big thing.
Right.
Uh, you know, it's just part of becoming an individual. And, what we were talking about, Terrence, and you jumped into this conversation, was the way that the media has been downplaying the role of the father figure or fathers in general.
Right.
What do you feel about that?
I think that nowadays, because of all this, what do the humans call it? The toxic masculinity and stuff. Like, it's bad to be a man. Like, it's bad to say no to a woman. It's bad to have your own opinion. You have to let men and women run all over you, because if you say or do anything to defend your person, you're considered a toxic male, and you can't do that. And I think that all that kind of crap plays a large part into why you have a lot of men raising their sons to be what I call bitch boys, which means that they're not really raising them to be guys. They're raising them to be, female caterers and anything negative, basically, because you can't be a man nowadays. Like, it's not a good thing.
No, that's true. Let me
I
ask
be
you,
a man on a daily basis.
even though you and your dad don't see eye to eye, did you ever sense that growing up, that you had that kind of upbringing, or was it different than most of these youngins today?
It seemed to be like once I started to change, like, because by the time I had reached age 13 or 14 or so, I was paying attention to humans even more, and I'm just like, man, like, there is something seriously wrong with a lot of these creatures. Like, the stuff that they do and say to each other, like, I was just taking notes, and I had so many examples of what I'm not going to be. And then I started noticing things like with my dad and my family, and I'm like, man, these humans. And once I started to do my mental training and my physical training, which I started at age 14, so I'm 30 now, it's been 16 years. Like, that's when I really started to come into my own, and I became more of a disappointment, if you will, because I didn't turn out the way that most humans believe that I should have turned out, especially in the eyes of my father. So, yeah, he um he didn't like the fact that he couldn't control me. I'm like, well, no humans can control me. I will do and say whatever I want, and if you don't like it, it's too bad. Like, I'm not here to be liked by anybody. I don't care if people like me or not. I'm just going to be myself. But I do appreciate when, humans treat me with respect and stuff like that. That's nice. But because of all the stuff that I went through, including stuff with my dad, like, I don't need that. Like, I'm the kind of guy where, like, if I march out on a battlefield, like, I'm expecting to look in every possible direction, and there's like countless forces against me, and I'm just comfortable standing there by myself. Like, I don't need no extras. But if somebody wants to walk up, like, hey, Terrence, I'll join you, I'm like, thank you so much. I appreciate that. But I got this. So humans like my dad, they're like, no, that's stupid. You can't be thinking like that. And I'm like, yep, the hell I can't. Yep, I'm Terrence. What you mean?
Yeah, and that's why I wanted to do this stream tonight, was because we have such a vast community, and it is great to get different perspective, different angles, different stories and views. I mean, because me myself, I don't think any one view is right or wrong. Just like when you're parenting, no one thing is right and wrong. And the person who tells you that, oh, they got to figure out, they're full of shit, because it doesn't come with a guide. There's no manual that tells you the right and wrong things to do. You're gonna fuck up
That,
just like
well,
your kids are gonna fuck up.
that depends if you're Christian or not.
Well, I mean, I guess like religion can play into many things in terms of what humans think and how they treat each other. Like, I would be classified as a Christian, but at the same time, like, for example, number one, I just don't believe in the Bible at all, because I'm just like, hey, a human wrote that and it's been rewritten many times. But if they want to roll with that, that's fine. None against it. But my mind is very open considering my faith as comparison to when, I speak to a lot of Christians and Catholics. Like 99% of them, their mind is so closed that I feel like I'm talking to a robot. Like, what manufacturer did you come from? Like, did you come off an assembly line? Like, their thoughts are not their own, and I can tell that someone like beat it into them. I'm like, can you please like think for yourself for the sake of this conversation? Like, technically, we're part of the same family, so all I'm asking is that you answer these questions as you would, and not so much what you feel that others want to hear. Because if you do that, then that would make you fake, and I would prefer to talk to a real person.
Hey,
Just
hey, hey,
saying.
just hold it down like this, man. Become Catholic, do whatever the fuck you want, and on your deathbed, ask for exaltation or whatever it is. You're free of all your sins that you've done in your past, and before you're dead, boom,
Right.
heaven.
I mean,
Fuck
that
it.
that's a nice sentiment, but the way I look at it is that, according to Christians and Catholics, like, you're fine no matter what. Like, once you're a believer, like, you can do so many things and you will be fine. It's supposedly the ones that are not believers that will be punished, but I kind of crossed my arms at that. Like, I'm not sure about that, because if someone's supposed to be all merciful, then there should be this overwhelming amount of forgiveness. But whatever, that's a completely different discussion.
Man, the only thing that I really think holds it down is like the golden rule: treat others how you like to be treated. You know,
Yeah.
that's a stepping point. Treat others how you
Right.
want to be treated.
Right.
And if you have a bad sense of humor or a sick sense of humor, you know, all right, don't castrate the guy for a joke. Don't
Right. Right.
grow a thicker skin. That's about that's where I hold it. If you
Right.
want
Right.
something, work for it. There's just so many stupid ass fucking phrases that us as men that we can pop off with are just so basic.
Right.
You don't need a religion to back it up to be a good
Right.
person.
Right. Right. That's right, Daddy Pants. Like, because as far
You know
as
what I'm
I'm
saying?
concerned, Right. I agree because as far as I'm concerned, Christian or otherwise, I'm like, you're either a good person or you're not. It's very simple. And religion or believing in something doesn't make you good. It's all about what you do, how you treat others, and the way that you think on a regular basis. Because some individuals, they'll do good things, but they have like trash running through their mind, and it's just like, damn, you're a horrible human. Like it's
Yeah,
just a,
the hypocrisy is real, especially in the
yeah,
fucking religious communities. You know?
right, right. I'm just
Yeah.
like,
Nah, miss me with that shit. Fuck that.
right, right. Now I'm just like, but in general though, I think that it's unfortunate that you have a lot of guys nowadays, and even humans in general, that they're like they're coming off an assembly line. They're like they're trapped in the matrix or something. I'm like, you don't have to be like this just because humans say so, right? Nope, I got to do it because if I don't, I'll get in serious trouble. I can't say that. Why can't you say it? Because they said that it's wrong. Well, yeah. So you think that because a large amount of humans agree to something that makes it right, even though you're just 100% against it, but you don't have the strength to be your own person. Goodbye, I'm walking away.
Yep.
I've always seen religion, like I'm a Christian, um, but I've always seen religion as sort of guidelines. I did have an experience. I don't talk much about things that have happened to me, but I had a near-death experience when I was serving, um, and I was in Africa. I got a high fever. I went into a coma for a bit, and
Oh, damn.
whilst I was under, I did see some things that made me uh, realize that there may be higher powers at work, which shaped my sort of views on the whole angle. But this is my thing. I've read the Bible and things like that, and there's verses that contradict people who push this theologic view where it states there's one passage in particular that's always struck me where it says the house of the Lord resides in the temple of man, meaning that you don't need a physical structure to believe in something or to believe in God. It's within yourself.
Right,
That's at least what I took out of it.
right,
Uh
And
huh.
so,
That's
it's
that's why
asinine to
Jesus
say
held sermons outside and not in a church.
right,
Yep.
exactly,
You don't need to
right,
go to
exactly.
church to hold God in your heart. God's wherever your God is wherever you take him.
That's why Rastafarians believe in that.
You know,
Yep.
they
Yeah,
you don't.
why is there this narrow-minded view that you necessarily have to donate, you have to be in this big church, you have to be in this fancy place because
Borgia. Borgia.
by someone.
Oh,
Well, I
you got
mean
these fucking
that's
super churches, man. Look
right.
at these
Borgia.
fucking super churches that don't pay no goddamn taxes on their fucking money, but they rolling in bands and private planes and shit. Motherfucker, what?
It
Yeah,
all
Explain
started with
us.
the Borgia.
Fucking mother.
I'm serious.
I mean, it could just be that they're all taking the blue pills. They don't want the red pills. They're like, nah, nah, nah. We'll stay over here and just continue in our methods. Like, you sure you don't want the red pill where you'll have your eyes opened and see things as the way they are instead of what humans tell you the way that things are? No, no, no. The blue pill sounds better. Okay.
Yeah,
Original church communions, when they used to donate to the church, the money was actually shared to the people who were in the church. Like, say, for instance, like someone within the flock of the pastors, like someone's house burnt down. Well, the church would use they had gathered as a way to rebuild that person of their flock. But nowadays, they don't rebuild nothing, anything.
Right. Right.
And,
Yeah,
yeah,
there's such a big push for this view, and I think that the overall arching theme that we were supposed to get from that is that it's the theory of having belief in something because I mean, it is quite lonely to believe in nothing, that nothing happens. But, why attack someone for what they believe? It's no different than attacks you get for anything else. And it's BS,
Well, I mean, that's very simple, Zod. Like, you have to take in consideration that when something is different, humans don't like that unless it brings them entertainment. But like beyond that, they're like, no, you can't do that. Most of us don't do that. It's like, well, I don't want to do what you want to do. So usually they'll find a way to turn that into a problem. Like you're weird, you're a freak, or you're going to hell, or something along those lines of typical stuff that they will say to someone that is outside of the line, so to speak.
And, it's a great point that
Yeah,
we
well,
because it's the same thing just with parenting, It's like they say, "Oh, you got to be like this. You have to be like this. This is the rule." Or
Right,
they're changing what the role is.
right,
They're
right.
Hey, Stevie,
yeah,
Terrence, you guys know how it rolls. You got something to say? Just pop on in.
Yes.
yeah.
Just chime up, man.
I was,
Because we
I
all
was
we
just
all
gonna
talk way too
say,
much.
Um,
I was just gonna say, like you were saying, everyone's got different beliefs. I mean, I'm a atheist. I don't have any, religious beliefs at all, and I could care less. Just to be blunt, like I could care less what you guys believe. If you guys believe in something, cool, awesome. That's as long as it suits you, and as long as you're doing right by people and that sort of thing, then it really doesn't bother me. I just want to try and be a good person myself. And if I can be a good person, hopefully my kids will be good people, and so on and so forth.
Yep, I can respect that. See that's cool right there.
Yeah.
As long as the human is not doing me any harm, I'm like, hey, you think how you want to think, and then I
Hey,
just keep
you
on
do
pushing
you.
in my direction.
And these are all great talks because it all goes back to the same thing. It all goes back to the reason why I wanted to do this stream, and I'm so glad to have all you on here, is because the Father's Day and all of these days, they're all a celebration. I consider it a celebration of not only just dads or not only just moms or not only just Christmas and yada yada yada, but of the of humanity. These are things we should be proud of
Right.
as human beings. You know,
Yeah, but you're right though, Zod. There's no manual to be a parent. I mean, I'd never want to be a parent for any reason, but like if I were to have a child or some children, I would just get them ready. I'd be like, hey man, we are on the worst planet in the universe. You're gonna have to deal with these humans. So I want you to be as strong as possible. That don't mean you gotta be like me, but as your father, it is up to me to make sure that you suffer as little as possible.
Yeah, and that's why I teach my kids, man. I tell them, yo, I want you to be better than me. I want you to be better than me. All right. I've messed up tons throughout my lifetime. I don't want you to recreate these steps. I want you to be
Right, right,
better. I want you to
right.
learn these lessons. I'm telling you these lessons. I'm telling you. I'm straightforward and honest with my kids, man. With everybody. Yo, I've done fucked up a lot.
Right.
Learn these lessons. All right. I want you to be better than me. I want you to be better because it's just getting worse out there. You know?
Right,
And
right.
I get that education. Stay in school. If you want to go to the military, you want to fly jets, guess what? Get for that goal.
Right.
Do it.
yeah, and it's about one thing that people forget in this. We're all people. Everyone on this panel, besides being father figures, we are all people that are fighting a war against the embargo. And for all those in the chat, I'm sorry. My computer does not switch off between people when they talk. I don't know why. I haven't figured it out. It's an old monitor.
So yeah, Zod, I wanted to say this because at the age of 15, like due to my training and stuff, I learned that a wise man learns from other people's mistakes, but a smart man learns from his own. So, like like once I heard that, I was like, oh man, like, and that just kind of sent me forward and just walking through the wind. And I'm like, okay, so I got a long journey ahead of me. This training is gonna last the rest of my life, and I will never be able to complete it. But that's okay though, because that means that as time progresses, that my mind and my body will forever get stronger and stronger. So, that carried me forward.
Yeah,
And
that's
see,
knowledge.
like that's true. And I'm sitting here like hoping that my ex doesn't repeat the cycle, because
Right.
she's pushing me away from my kids.
Right.
All right. I'm hoping she's not repeating this cycle that I lived.
Right.
Taking the dad away out of the fucking picture. I'm hoping that I set a good foundation, a better foundation, a good enough foundation for my kids can live off of. Because I don't know, I could die tomorrow.
Right.
The line of work I do, I always could have died tomorrow. I mean, even in a car accident, we all could die tomorrow.
Right.
I'm hoping that I set the base foundation for my kids to know how to be good. And from what I've seen and from what I know of them, they are good little people.
Right.
They have beautiful hearts. They have beautiful minds. And I hope that if I leave this earth tonight, tomorrow, a year from now, or without ever seeing them again, I hope that they took the lessons that I installed, because I worked hard to install those lessons.
Right. And just remember, Daddy Pants, like, if you ever feel like you're falling, like I will do my best to catch you, so that way you don't hit the pavement.
Yeah, I know that, brother. And I really do appreciate that, man. Today's pretty rough. But I got you guys. I got people in chat there. Now I'm feeling love. I really am. And so this is beautiful. This is beautiful to me. Thank you very much, Zod. Thank you.
Hey, no problem, man. This community is like the greatest community that we have, and it's why I love doing these panels and these discussions, because there's so much, the SJWs, they talk about, diversity this and diversity that, but look at this panel. We have people literally from every walk of life, through different situations and different backgrounds, and, we're all here supporting each other.
You forgot different planets.
What's that?
I said you forgot different planets.
Oh yeah, and from different, and we all are here supporting each other and helping each other out. But yet there's this stupid narrow view that we need inclusion. We are excluding people and things like that. And to me, this has been the most diverse and inclusive community that I've ever come across. When I first started my channel, I never imagined there'd be so many people in this community who would have your back and help you out. So many people who would give you advice and help you along the way. I've talked to big channels, small channels. I mean, just everyone here for each other. And that's why these narrow-minded dumbasses will never figure this out. They don't get that you can't push the diversity issue because it already exists. All you have to do is look for it. We have diversity here. We have inclusion here. We have a great community here. So why do I want to be part of your drone society where you want everyone to be the same? Because that's what the SJWs want.
Preach.
They want us to step in line, to follow their beliefs. They preach inclusion, but it's really about their views.
Yeah, that is definitely not gonna happen. Like Like I'm one of those individuals where I'm like, well, that's not gonna happen. So I guess you're gonna have to kill me because I ain't falling in line. I'll follow my own line, which I'm the only one in my line. But yeah, they're like, no, you can't do that. Well, you heard what I told you. You gotta do. You gotta take me out because I ain't about to conform.
Good
Yeah.
luck trying. Come to this front door. Find out what
Yeah.
time it is. Let's go.
See that's
You
the
know,
thing too. Like I
this is,
can't.
you know,
Mm,
But
When you
everything
going
they
to
want,
tell?
everything they want to do is hypocritical in its own right anyway. Because, for example, they want to say you've got to include more women, you've got to include more of this ethnicity, you've got to include more, you've got to do this, you've got to do that, and then in the end, they also say or else. So by definition of what they're trying to do, it's hypocritical because they're saying you have to do this, you have to do this because you're so oppressive to us. And then they say or else. So basically, they're forcing people to do the very thing they're trying to avoid.
right.
You have 5% of the population trying to suppress the 95%.
Right.
Like,
yep.
I'm like, nope. That shit is not good. I'm like, nope,
come on.
no.
Come
Yeah,
on.
it's really it's kind of a funny and asinine argument because they are fighting for something and bringing something up that hasn't existed. We've gotten past this BS, and the only one who's highlighting this are the people who are claiming that they're fighting for diversity, but they are really, they're promoting inclusion, and that's the funny irony of their whole argument is that they are promoting being, they're promoting separation, but under the guise that it's inclusion. They're
Yeah.
promoting separating ourselves by gender, by classes, and things like that. But they're
Right,
using the whole, oh, we're being inclusive. No, you're not. You're being exclusive, and there's a huge difference.
I think
right.
Quentin Tarantino said it pretty well. I reject your hypothesis.
Oh yeah. He shut that
Yeah.
bitch down fast.
I,
That
I
was
think
glorious. I
Yeah.
stood
we
up and
all.
clapped like I was there.
Oh yeah, that was awesome. That was awesome.
Yep. Yeah.
You know,
He's missing
I
me with
love
that bullshit. He said,
I love Quentin Tarantino. I followed him a long time, and I've always been questioning about his politics or where he stands because he's a very ignamic or what's that word?
Agnamits?
Well, I
No,
mean, like
Ignagnet?
if
I
you
don't know.
watch his interviews, I feel like you'll have a better understanding of him. Like, there's a reason why his movies are so dope and unique. Is because of the way that he thinks. So
He's chock full of I don't give a shit. That's why.
yeah, like his characters address things that are going on in reality constantly, but he does it in such a way to where usually like the typical movies they won't say it like that. They'll be very evasive and have it watered down. Quentin Tarantino's like, if I'm going to talk about some shit, then I'm going to talk about it. Like
Absolutely.
it's just that simple.
He's gonna throw that 1A around, man. I mean,
Hmm.
shoot. Like the Django. You got what DiCaprio tossing the hard R out there,
Oh yeah, like
And that made the
or
movie, man.
you want to talk
Imagine if he
about
softened that
strong?
blow. Imagine
You
if he
want to talk
softened that
about
blow. That movie would have sucked balls. You know?
you know?
Don't censor nobody. You don't say what they're gonna say in the proper context. Do you see Tarantino being targeted as racist?
Nope.
Well, I
Because
mean,
that was
No.
he was by some ignorant humans, but I'm just like, the funny thing is that what happened at the time was that mostly individuals that weren't black, they were saying it was racist, but then you had black people, we were like, no, he's making a movie about the times back then. That's how we were treated. And in some cases, still treated by certain individuals. So I'm like, he's just expressing the truth, and that's the best way to deliver an intense story. So eventually that kind of died down when my people
exactly.
just like came out and said, like, no, like, first of all, Tarantino he has a lot of black friends, like number one. So it's just like there are things you could point to shut that down and make the person look stupid.
Man, well, the thing is, the real people shut that shit down quick, fast, in a hurry from the fake.
Right,
Them
right.
fake people got shut down real quick, real hard, real fast, because
I mean,
it wasn't used as a derogatory remark to put a single person down or a single race down. It was used in a movie in proper context.
Yeah, it was a movie.
You know what I mean? You know what I mean? That was a damn good movie.
I'm like, it's not an autobiography. It's just a movie about a character named Django and, slave, and he's trying to, save his wife. Like, it's just.
But I mean, if you want to call him racist, I mean, just look at Jackie Brown. That was a movie about a black woman who was the main character in that movie, and she was fucking gangster. So.
Yep. I mean,
she was held high and freaking, held on a pedestal.
I'm just like, I ain't even trying to hear none of that like stupid shit where humans are trying to say that he's racist. Like, I'm so glad that died as fast as it lived. Like, it just was real quick and then it got shut down.
Yeah, that shit got snuffed out faster than a candle with my fucking hand on top, man. Just boop, bon, gone. Nope. It was stupid, man. And Leonardo DiCaprio, he's the one that dropped the bomb as a white boy. And did he get fucking crucified? Nope. Because
was he playing a character?
People got real all of a sudden.
Yeah.
I'm like,
what the hell? I'm like, how many black people loved Leonardo DiCaprio? Like, that's why we were laughing at that. I'm like, wait, so you're saying that my people are mad at him and Leonardo DiCaprio is dope? Like, I just like, we had to just laugh that away. I'm like,
yeah, he's a great man. And that's the thing, man, is this 5 to 10% of these SJWs, they scream so loud. They scream so much. They scream and scream, and the squeaky wheel gets that grease. The squeaky wheel gets that grease.
Right.
And you grease it, and you grease it, and you grease it. And then,
Yep.
So long as that squeaky wheel isn't squeaking no more.
Right.
It's going to roll the way you want it to. But once it starts squeaking again, guess what? It gets that grease. You got this media pushing the agenda.
Yep.
Put more grease on it. Put more grease on it. Let's silence this. Let's silence it.
Right.
The grease is us. Focus on it.
Them SJWs, they were fucking up, Daddy Pants. Like, them SJWs are like, yep. You're like, man, the black community is angry. I'm like, did you even talk to us? Like, before you just started saying random stuff?
Do you even know black man?
I'm like, we sitting there cheering and stuff. I don't remember, like, because I went to see it, like about 3 times in theaters, packed all 3 times. A lot of black people were there and stuff. And we were all cheering last time I checked. I don't remember us just like, what? We gonna visit Tarantino's house? Like,
yeah. And Django was a fucking awesome movie too.
It was. Yeah, it was, man. Fuck yeah. Ah, dude, I love that. I love the shit out of it.
They're making a sequel now, right?
Good.
Well, it's not confirmed.
Django and Zorro, dude.
It's not confirmed yet. It just seems like something they're discussing, but like according to what's on the internet, there's no official word of Tarantino writing or directing that movie at all.
Dude, the Lone Ranger 2, that'd be boss.
I think it only can work if Tarantino writes and directs it. That's the only way.
Oh, I know, man. Yeah,
absolutely.
But that'd be boss if fucking the Lone Ranger rolls in at the sometime in it and says, "Howdy, fellas, need a little help?"
Because I read the pitch for it, the whole idea that Django, he's out there
Disney
still doing his thing.
The Lone Ranger.
Right, yeah, he comes across the Lone Ranger, and then he's like, "Oh, okay, this is like the second coolest white man that I met." Because remember in Django, he met that other white guy, and he was cool. So at that point, it's supposed to be where Django and the Lone Ranger, they end up collecting bounties together, taking out individuals that deserve to die. So I'm just like, hey, Like who wouldn't want to cheer for something like that?
Shit, you know what? Hey, how about this? How about this? We got Zod as the Lone Ranger. I'll be Zorro, and you be the Django, Terrence. All right, we'll make our own. We'll make our own fucking movie. How about that?
So it's gonna be our fan film that inspires Tarantino to actually make it.
Something like that, man. Shit, I'll crack a whip.
Yeah,
I'll throw.
that'd be cool. Like I would actually be able to say like and be real about it that I would be proud if like something that I'm a part of and Tarantino's like that's dope. I'm gonna
Hell
turn
yeah.
that into a movie like that. That'd be dope. Like,
Oh yeah. We just need to all learn. I know how to ride a horse, man. I quit years and years and years ago, but man, oh,
I wish I could say that. I wish I could say that, Daddy Pants, but the closest experience I got was when I was 10 and I was on a pony, but that was quite different. Like,
I rode
dude.
a
I want
horse
to
once and
put good
my nuts ended
question
up
here.
getting crushed.
Um,
What was that? Oh,
One said, "What's the deal with Tarantino's Star Trek? Did we got a confirmation on that, or is that just them?"
no. Like at first, what happened was it's been in lingo for so long because they were like we want Tarantino to do it, but then Tarantino was like, it sounds intriguing, but he was working on Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and it's been that way for like the past 3 years. So they want Tarantino to do it, but Tarantino hasn't officially said that he's going to take on the project. Because I'm like, if he does that, that would be very different from all of the films that he's done in the sense that he's developed his own stuff. So that would be the first time that he takes on something that has already really existed. Like unless you count Django, because technically like Django was like another film, but in the way that Tarantino did Django in comparison to the older Django films is very different. So like Star Trek would be okay, this thing has been established since the 60s. So this would be new territory for Quentin Tarantino. So but no, there's no official word yet.
I would have to
right.
say it would probably be 100 times better because Quentin Tarantino is a master of his craft, and if Django had source material, which I didn't even realize, then the route he took it in was it's pretty well received movie. So just imagine the kind of bump that would give the Star Trek.
Do you remember the scene in Django Unchained when Django was at the bar and you had like an older white dude and he had a cowboy hat? And then when there was another white guy that approached him and he called him
Franco
Django.
Nero.
Yeah, there you go. And then he said no, the D is silent. And then then the other Django walked off. So that was supposed to be an Easter egg that they got the actor from the other Django films to be in the movie.
Wow.
I don't remember that. I'm gonna have to watch that again.
Yeah.
So yeah, but like I said though, like even though there's inspiration like between if you compare the older Django films to Django Unchained, they're drastically different. But it's just Tarantino's like, you know what, I feel like I can make something like that and then kind of come up with my own vision, but I'll have the OG actor come in out of respect. So that's pretty much what you have there.
Yo, and that's the cool thing about fucking Tarantino, man, is he always throws back to the old school. He always hollers back, you know?
Yeah, because he's what I call a film fan. Like there's a difference between like someone that just casually watches movies and a film fan. Like myself, like I would consider myself a film fan in the sense that like at this point I've seen more than 3,000 movies. Like if it's a movie, I want to watch it. Now there's a priority, like okay, I'm gonna watch these first, and then I'll get to these other ones later. But I want to see as many films as possible because I truly love film. And Tarantino is like that, especially when it comes to the classics of every single genre of film. And you see in his movies as to where, he got inspiration from whatever set of movies, like with From Dusk Till Dawn, which is technically not his movie. It's Robert Rodriguez, who's a friend of his, but, Tarantino wrote the screenplay and he's in the movie. But Tarantino has a large fascination with vampire lore. So that's where that comes into play. Like you can always connect the dots and then like say something like Kill Bill, which is Tarantino's work. He likes Bruce Lee and the martial arts film genre. And you can see that in Kill Bill, like Uma Thurman is wearing the famous yellow tracksuit that Bruce Lee wore in Game of Death. You know, there's a
Yeah.
scene where the bad guys are coming on the bikes and they're all wearing the Kato mask from back when Bruce Lee was Kato in the Green Hornet series. They even had the theme, like the whole nine.
Yeah, Crazy 88 or something like that. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
with the dialogue and how they say those certain things, like they're over.
Man.
That's a callback to every Asian film where
It's a throwback, baby.
Dramatic language. You know, anyone who's watched title shit knows that.
Oh, that's the good stuff, though, man.
Yeah,
it didn't get wasted, man. It's getting recycled, thrown out there. Like, yo, kids, check this out.
Exactly. Like you thought this was gone. Like, nope, I'm gonna bring it back.
Nope. Throwback, comeback. Here we go.
Yeah.
You know,
Tarantino is that good that I reckon if he did an R-rated sequel to The Notebook, I'd still fucking watch it.
Let me tell you, hey, I'm gonna be real. If Quentin Tarantino, I'm gonna be real. Like, I'm gonna be real. So when it comes to the Twilight movies, right, they're all bad. But because I have such a large fascination with vampires and werewolves, I watched them all in the fucking theater, and I actually found them to be entertaining, even though they were bad. But like, if Tarantino like comes out tomorrow and he's like, I'm gonna reboot Twilight, I was there without question.
Oh
yeah.
I'd be like, yes, Twilight, because when I got dragged to those, it was with my ex.
Right.
She liked that one, the werewolf dude, Tyler Lautner.
Yeah, Jacob. See, that was me. Zod. Like, I was like, man, fuck Edward. Like,
oh, I know, man. That Wolf Clan, man. Yo, there was.
Yeah, I was all about the
joke.
werewolves, Daddy Pants, man. And in the Twilight movies, I was like, there was only two vampires that I liked. It was like Emmett, who was the biggest one in the Cullen family, and then there was another vampire that was part of the Volturi named Felix. And I like him because he almost killed Edward in the second movie. Like, he was beating the shit out of Edward. I was so happy. I was cheering in the theater. I was cheering.
I liked the father in the that little clan. I had mad respect for him. I had mad respect for him.
Yeah.
Really?
And then the other guy was that big guy. You know?
You talking about Emmett? Yeah, that's the one I like.
Yeah, I like the father. I had respect for him because he was cool, calm, and collected, and he whoop ass if he had to, and die for his family if he had to.
Right.
You know, I had mad respect for him, and I really enjoyed that Emmett dude. He was just
Emmett was cool.
Yeah, and on the Wolfpack, I had that one the main beast boy looking motherfucker. He had the heart, man.
Yeah, you talking about Jacob?
Yeah, he had love, man. He had the heart. He had the passion.
I just wanted him to stop messing with Bella because I was like, after she kept dissing him, she was like, "No, Jacob, I know that you're buff and you're strong and you're confident, but I want the sparkly motherfucker over here."
I just want Emma to get off the bench and fucking pick a side and quit fucking jockeying. She's jocking both sides. She's jocking all these niggas, and she's like, "Fucking no, I don't know what to do."
Right.
Yo,
that's the thing that was irritating me. I was like, "Look, I would have been straightforward with her, Daddy Pants. I'd have been like, look, do you want the dick or not? Because I don't have to keep protecting you if you're gonna keep bullshitting me around."
Damn right. Fuck up, kick bricks, bitch.
I reckon if they just took Bella out of the whole movie and just made it vampires versus werewolves, it'd been way cooler.
Right. Thank you, Stevie J. Like, cause that last Twilight movie when they were all fighting in the snow, I was like, if all the movies would have been like that, like we would have had nothing to say.
Yep.
Vampire baseball and then battles between the fucking werewolves and vampires would have been sick.
Yeah, I did like that baseball scene. Now that you mentioned, I thought that was sick. I'm like, hey, if you did a whole movie with this, that'd be better than Bella like struggling to choose between a sparkly dude and a werewolf. Like, I'm just saying.
Okay. Speaking of which, there was a good question by MegaJetty1 who asked Edward playing Batman. There's been a lot of about this. I disagree with it because I say look at movies like Remember Me, that when he did the biopic on James Dean,
You're
He's
right,
a
Zod. Like he has films that he's good in, but I don't see him as Batman. See
I see
from
him
my
as Bruce Wayne.
perspective,
Hey, hey,
Zod, like I'm
Jermaine,
not. Hmm?
Jermaine. Hey, remember, there's other people on the panel. We got to remember that.
Oh yeah. No. I was just gonna say that like from my perspective, I'm not viewing it as like this dude can't act. I just don't see him as Batman. That's all.
Stevie, what do you think?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm sort of in the middle here because I think he definitely got acting skills. He can act, but part of me still holds on to that Twilight sparkly man, and another part of me just doesn't see him as Batman. In like when I think of Batman, I don't think of him. Like I can't picture him doing a good job as Batman.
Uh,
Yeah.
Phil L, what do you think?
I'm all for him. It's like the whole thing what happened with Keaton and Bay all over again.
True.
I don't know. Like I feel you on that, but I strongly disagree that like in one hand it's kind of the same, but I'm like at least with them, it's like I could kind of see them as a character. With him, I don't see it at all. Like not even a little bit.
Well,
Well, no one
okay,
saw Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool until he pulled it off.
That's
Well,
not
okay.
true. Like that is not true. Like when we saw him in Blade Trinity, like a lot of people were like he should be Deadpool, and then there's X-Men Origins Wolverine.
That's not his fault.
Right? No, it's not. But I'm just saying, like we saw him as the character. We just needed him to be with better material.
see,
Well, okay. So here's what I'm gonna come in on. It's like fucking. You know what? I'm gonna give the man a chance. All right, he's got acting chops. All right, I ain't seen shit for acting except for Twilight from this man.
Right.
All right. And so I ain't seen any of his other movies. I've heard some good things. I've heard some bad things. I'm all like fucking. I'm gonna wait and see, because
Right.
we've had some shitty ass fucking Batman. We've had some shitty ass fucking Jokers. We've had some shitty ass other actors that come in. Then we've also had some surprises just out left field. I'm gonna keep my opinion down to like, let's watch and see. Let's wait and see. Because we got this fucking new Joker movie coming out, right?
Yeah.
It looks slick. It looks slick. But
Yeah,
we don't know.
everyone's already going, oh, Joaquin Phoenix. I'm like, have you seen his resume? You're telling
Yeah.
me
Joaquin's,
he can't be the Joker?
Joaquin Phoenix is a great actor.
Fine?
you know, and apparently this one fool, I don't even fucking, Twilight boy, all right? Apparently he's going to be, he's got some acting chops too. And he's only getting older since Twilight. And he's got experience. So I'm just going to hold it down like fucking, you know what? I'm going to reserve my judgment, let him do what he's going to do. And then we can sit there and say like, saw that coming. Right
I
or
can
wrong.
respect that, Daddy Pants. I do respect that, but I'm just saying that when I hear certain things, it's either a yep or a nope. So right now it's a nope, but like when they start dropping the photos and I see a trailer, I'm like, okay, you have a chance to impress me. And then let's say they drop the photos of him in the suit and he's buff now and all this stuff in the trailer, and I'm still not convinced. Well, guess what? I'm a huge DC fan, so I'm gonna watch it no matter what. But I would rather go into it excited than not.
How old are you?
30.
Yeah. How old is he?
Ooh, probably around the same age, probably.
Yeah. And you know how fast and easy it's going to be for a 30-year-old that has millions of dollars and is backed by $1 million corporation to gain muscle and stack up?
Oh yeah, it's gonna be easy. That's not my concern about him
Son.
getting big. I'm just saying
He's
that
33 years old.
All right. So he's 33
I'm
years
not
old.
saying that. Like I know that they can get him big. It's just that I'm not convinced that he can do the job. So this is a situation where they have to prove me wrong. Like, and I'm like, damn, I didn't think he can do it at all, not even a little bit. But hey, congratulations.
I'm not gonna pass the judgment, man. I hope he does a great job. I want a good movie.
I hope he does too, Daddy Pants, because Batman is my favorite superhero. I don't want nobody to fuck that up.
You know when his first movie was? Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, he's the one that died in it too, huh?
Yeah.
That was sad as fuck. That caught me in the feels, dude.
Whenever anyone has a doubt about someone in Batman, I always go to my favorite example because I was old enough to remember this, and I also saw the movie multiple times. But Heath Ledger, they said, "Oh no!" After Brokeback Mountain, 10 Things I Hate About You. He's a pretty boy from Australia. He can't pull that off. And how many people here were proven wrong? That's all I'm saying.
Okay. Yeah. That's fair, Zod. But at the same time, though, at this point,
we learned that fucking Australians are suicidal. Stevie J, we got you.
What the hell?
What the hell did I walk back into?
Hey, look, I'm gonna give him a chance, guys. Of course, I'm gonna give him a chance. Like, just because, like, I'm such a hardcore fan of DC and Marvel that no matter who they cast, whether I like it or not, I'm still gonna watch it. See, there's humans where they're like, I'm not going to because they don't like the choices, but that's not me. I could be like, I don't like this, but let me go and see the movie anyway. And then hopefully I come out going, yes, this is great, versus just like I fucking thought.
Well, there's two questions, really, isn't there? With any new casting choice, there's two questions. The first one is the first impression. Is it going to be any good? And
right.
Really, it just comes down to, like you said, your first impression is no, it's not going to be good. Mine's sort of similar. I don't feel like he's going to be the right person. But then the second question is, after you've seen it, can you be objective about it? And I can. So if he does a good job, I'll say he did a good job.
Yes, I agree. I'm the same
way. Does no
way.
one remember when Gal Gadot went through this shit with Wonder Woman? There was a lot of people talking about her figure not being the way it should be for Wonder Woman.
Yeah,
I remember that a long time ago.
Yeah, I still think she sucks.
Yeah, I completely disagree with that. Oh hell no!
I think she might.
Sorry, Gal Gadot. That's my I don't know, 12th wife now.
Yeah, I hope she sucks because damn, she ain't getting married if she don't.
see, Daddy Pants, he knows what's up, but yeah, like.
Damn. I do gotta say though, all of my awesome panelists, I am going to be having to wrap this up because I'm gonna be bumping into my other stream because I'm a beast and I'm streaming multiple streams. Don't cross the streams. We're gonna be doing one for next talk. So I'm gonna start winding things down, and any of the panelists here, probably all of you people, will we could take this into the next panel because this is more going off into what I normally talk about on there. So,
hey, just holla at your boys.
Yeah, let's start to wind things down and give it final thoughts and things of that nature, and then we'll kind of go in the order as I see them. So let me start with Drunk Superman.
Of course, you picked me. And what do you want me to talk about, my lord?
I heard you got either a YouTube or a web page. You can promote both.
Oh, right. Well, the Geek in the Skies just made 600 subs. Make sure you sub to him and follow us on his thing because I'm his co-host, Prime Geek Collectors. You can find us at primegeekcollectors.com.
Dude, that's congratulations,
bitch.
Dude, Geek in the Skies, holla. Hell yeah. Check his ass out. He's boss as fuck.
Oh my goodness. You know what? Damn it. Stevie, go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to say happy Father's Day to everyone, and you're all good people. Have an awesome day, and if you want to go over to my channel, Stevie J Reviews, and check out a couple of the videos. That's all I wanted to say. Cheers, guys.
Awesome. Awesome. And of course, let's go to the person who we never thought would have content, but now they are going to have like 1 million subs. Stig, go ahead and plug your channel.
Yeah, there's 2 videos there, 50 seconds combined. So if you have nothing else to do for less than a minute, go watch them. Other than that, I don't know. I have 90 subs, so I'm close to getting 100. We're gonna have to do something if I get 100, I suppose. Maybe film another duck. I don't know.
You should do duck, duck, goose. Make the last video goose.
Okay, if I can find one. Yeah, just it's summer. Don't watch my videos. Be outside with your friends and family. It's better.
Preach. Subscribe, but just go outside.
Yeah, you can watch it outside. On your actually no, don't bring your phones outside. Be with the people in front of you.
I love it, Stig.
Wow, that was deep. And go ahead, Terrence, tell these humans about your channel.
Oh, yeah, if you humans want to, you can come over to Tremaine Terrence and join the Tremaine Terrence family by clicking that subscribe button. But other than that, though, I'm just gonna be real because I feel like being honest is important. So, whenever myself or my brother, whenever we make videos, we're doing it for fun and not so much to gain a fan base, but any and all support is always appreciated, of course. And, Zod, I just wanted to run something by you. Since you are Zod and everything, I just wanted to say that I think you should be watching a show called Krypton because General Zod is on that show. And they've been doing a wonderful job with this character. So I think you should check it out.
Oh, I've been watching it, or I watched the first season. I'm a little down. I gotta watch the second season, but I heard
Didn't they introduce Lobo this month?
Yes, they did. That was this past Wednesday. Lobo showed up at the end of the episode to apprehend Sagel, Kal-El's grandfather, and Adam Strange from the future.
Wow.
What are we talking about?
Krypton.
Where the hell do I find that at?
It's on the channel Sci-Fi.
Yeah, they're doing things over there.
Well, I'm gonna have to fucking pirate. I'm gonna have to do a bootleg J thing and find it somewhere.
But yeah. Other than that, though, I'm always grateful to be here talking to you guys, and anytime that you guys allow me to run my mouth, then it's all good. Yeah, all of you are good people. Daddy Pants, like I said, I got you, man. Like so, yep, I'm gonna catch you if you fall.
I know who to call.
Yep. And Zod, you're cool. Everybody is cool. I appreciate all you guys for different reasons.
Thank you. We appreciate having you on, and that's what the community is about. And I appreciate everyone who comes here on the channel. So, as far as my plug, this has been the return for a brief video to honor Father's Day. I'm gonna say it. The most earth-breaking, ground-shaking, but never media show money taking. The man, the myth, the legend, the most electrifying YouTuber in YouTube entertainment today. Lee Cole the Fourth.
This Mexican got skipped over.
Yep.
And I just wanted to say here on the channel, I go by General Zod. He has made this channel his home, the Fandom Zone, and we will be bringing you another Fandom exclusive, the Late Night Talks with me and PB. You
This
can
is
see
white
him
oppression.
talking with me in the chat.
Yeah.
Yo,
Yeah.
we got General Zod, the white guy, freaking oppressing me.
Damn.
Did he build a wall all of a sudden?
Damn.
He
Yeah.
built a
Wait a
General
minute.
Zod built a wall all of a sudden. What the hell? I can't. This brown boy can't get over it now. What
Wait
the
a minute.
fuck?
Shouldn't Zod be destroying the wall, not building it? Like,
No,
Oh,
he
well,
just uses it. He makes it in his image. That's what he does.
he just built one on top of me.
I'm doing what SJWs are. I'm trying to rebrand my image.
Well, you're succeeding.
no.
Yeah. You damn straight. You are succeeding as hell. You got your fucking exclusivity. You got your diversity, except for the brown folk.
Wow.
Damn. I'm on the other side of this wall all of a sudden. You're sitting there like, all right, I'm out. And I'm like over here like, hey, hi guys. Hi.
Hey, that's okay, Daddy Pants. If Zod like builds a wall around you, I'll come and get you out, man. I got you.
No, man. You know I'm gonna play that racist card because I can now.
So you don't.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? You have to remember, Zod and me are aliens ourselves. We're not even supposed to be here. We've been avoiding ice for almost how many years?
What you mean, Kal-El? You Superman. You can go wherever the hell you want. Like,
I do. Hey, was I born here? Was I born on this planet?
Hey, it doesn't matter when you're Superman.
Hey,
Yeah, it don't matter.
With us being here makes us all Zodomites.
Oh, Zodomites. Damn, Daddy Pants went straight to the mind control with that one.
Hey, build that wall, motherfucker. What? You fucking call
That was deep.
Wow.
Much love, much love. I love you all. Hey, if you want to watch my shit and want to lose a couple brain cells, hit my channel up. Yeah, you probably shouldn't. I would recommend everybody other than me on this panel.
I don't know. You throwing spaghetti at the wall was actually pretty funny.
Hey, I try to do what I do. I try to be funny. Try not to be too, I try not to get my feels in it, not the bad ones.
Right.
But hey, much love to Zod. All hail Zod, man. He's the coolest motherfucker. Him, Geek in Disguise, PB. There's, you know what, man? I can't list it off. I really can't. This community is fucking beautiful. Much love, and that's my plug. Thanks, Zod, for letting me have that moment.
That was awesome. That was great. I really I don't even know how to follow that up. You know what? I'm not going to leave you with these thoughts. Thank you everyone for coming. And once again, this has been my my Father's Day stream, and much love to all the fathers out there, and doing your duty, and everybody out there, stay strong, show everyone love, and I'll be back shortly with the late night talks with my probably angry co-host who's gonna berate me.
Right.
Yeah.
Hey, Zod, I consider you a friend just the same as Daddy Pants and everyone else. But Zod, I just want to warn you, because you are a friend of mine, that if you get too crazy and you try to murder Daddy Pants or anything, I'm gonna have the kryptonite ready. Like, I'm gonna have it ready.
Hey, there you go. What's up? Build that wall.
So, mortals, we shall see you later. I've got to go and host this second stream now because I'm a beast. Everybody, stay tuned, because very shortly on the channel I will be doing another stream, because here on the channel I do back-to-back streams because I'm fucking crazy. So I'll see you here in a couple of short minutes. Till then, peace out and much love. Good night,
All right.
everyone.
Later.
See you guys.
Much love, y'all.
All right.